All right, everybody. Good evening and welcome back to Talking Watches. Today is Saturday, September 6th, 2025, and this is episode 1632. For those who are new here, my name is Tim Wright, and I go live every single day at 5 p.m. for about 3 hours, not 3 watches. On this show, we cover latest watch news, the hottest new releases, in-depth collector interviews, and conversations with people from every corner of the industry. We even take you live into watch events as they happen. As a quick reminder, by the way, guys, this is my full-time job, and the way you can keep this show going is through your support. By sending a super chat, your comment or question is guaranteed airtime live on the show. We have memberships that start at $4 a month, and at $10, you get access to our exclusive WhatsApp group where the conversation continues 24/7. Tonight, we have a very special guest joining us, Todd Levin. Todd is an internationally acclaimed art advisor and curator with decades of experience guiding private collectors, institutions, and foundations. His firm, the Levin Art Group, is one of the most respected advisory practices in the world. Todd's insights have been featured everywhere from New York Times to Artforum, and he's helped shape some of the most important private art collections of our time. But in the watch world, Todd is especially known for his something incredibly rare. He's one of the few people who own pieces from both George Daniels and Roger Smith. George Daniels, as many of you know, is widely regarded as one of the greatest watchmakers of all time. The man who invented the coaxial escapement and pursued pure craftsmanship through what he called the Daniels method. Roger Smith is his only apprentice, has carried that torch forward on the Isle of Man, producing watches almost entirely by hand in the English traditional way. Todd was featured in Hodinkie's Talking Watches a few years back, and his conversations then gave the broader world a rare glimpse into what it means to collect at the very highest level, where watches aren't just timekeepers or even luxury goods, but as works of art and cultural history. So put your wrist checks in the chat. Let's bring on Todd. Todd, welcome to the show.
Nice to be here, Tim.
Thank you. It's great to have you back on the stream. It's been quite some time, but I know you're busy. I'm also busy. Before we do our wristwatch checks, I want to know, and before we get into heavy watch talk, what's been inspiring you lately outside of watches, in art, music, or even daily life?
I don't know what's been inspiring me, but maybe the biggest change is I've always lived on the East Coast. I still maintain a home just outside of New York City in New Jersey. I recently sold, though, my New York City home, and I'm now spending half of my time out towards the West Coast. I'm currently in Las Vegas, which is where we're speaking from. I'm not in my house. I just bought a house in September, but that's undergoing a major renovation right now. So kindly, a friend of mine who lives about a mile and a half from me has allowed me to stay in his house, which is where I'm currently am as we're speaking right now. So that's been the biggest change, kind of the incrementally getting accustomed to sort of the West Coast, being more out on going to San Francisco next week for work for clients. So it's interesting going back and forth now on both coasts. So that's been the most interesting project of late, but it's an ongoing project. So,
if it's okay, I would love to also touch on that house. That's the famous Frank Lloyd Wright house. Is that the one that's undergoing renovation?
No. The one in New Jersey.
Oh, Okay.
Is the
Which one is that?
it was designed and built by Frank Lloyd Wright in 1941. It's called the Stuart Richardson House. You can Google it. But the house in Las Vegas, Frank Lloyd Wright did not build any houses in Nevada, so let alone Las Vegas. So there's nothing out here to buy, even if you wanted. So yeah, the house out here that's undergoing renovation is just a classic mid-century modern home. So
Oh, so it's really nice. You're staying at the friend's house. That's
yeah,
so cool. Yeah, I love that. Yeah,
yes,
that's what friends are for, and especially friends that can let you crash at their place where you're doing your thing. My God, that's what makes the world go round.
yeah. So it's good to have friends.
Good times. Exactly. Yeah. I stayed, through the show, I stayed at so many people's houses. I think at one point I was even trying to do like a Gonzo style stream at your house. We're talking, just explore the house, look at it from type of a live streaming perspective. And
Hmm.
maybe it's something we'll do in the future. Who knows? Um, let's talk about what we've got on our wrist. I'll go first.
Okay.
Since, uh, since I've got a quick one here, it's just the Speedmaster 3861 Classic. It's on the Jean Rousseau pink custom leather strap, and I got this in Paris with a bunch of
Yeah.
community members. It's just like it's about good times, memories. Oh, and the watch the viewers gifted me, so that's pretty cool. What
Nice.
about? Yeah, thanks. What about you, Todd? Let's see what you got on the wrist tonight.
Nothing.
Okay.
I put the watches here, a couple of watches. I brought one of the Daniels and I brought one of the Smiths, and so I have them here, in front of me. So, for the moment, nothing on the wrist. I've been wearing my one of the Smiths because we'll get into it later, I'm sure. But this one was designed with Roger and I together, and it was designed specifically for me. So it's kind of the only watch I have that I had any collaboration with a living watchmaker on, where we were able to discuss issues of architecture and design. So it's sort of like my watch, literally, because it was made for me with my input. So that's what I've been wearing most of the
Wow.
time lately, every day, because it's my watch. So
Wow. That's incredible. Let's not show it yet. Let's that's a heavy. I need to just think about that for a second, because it is it is such a important thing, and you've been instrumental in putting I think like George Daniels and Roger Smith really on social media map. The videos you've done with Hodinkee, I think, resonated with a lot of people. So the last time you were here, we touched on your incredible collection, but I want to go a little deeper tonight.
mhm.
Can you walk us through your key watch, so that the viewers, those who are joining us for the first time, can understand the collection here? Maybe we'll work our way until we get to that very special.
So yeah, and you're cutting in and out. Your mic is cutting in and out. So I know you want me to discuss the collection, but I didn't
Yeah.
know precisely how you want me to discuss the collection.
Let's go in chronological
Chronological.
order.
Okay.
Can you hear me
So
now? Is it better?
yeah. You were going in and out.
Okay, I apologize.
So the first watch I purchased was the very first watch I purchased, because I never wore a watch really until recently, when not even an Apple Watch. I just, didn't wear watches really, or any
Yeah.
jewelry for that matter. But when I got interested in watches, and then I'd spent a number of years doing research before I even bought a watch. When I finally did dive in, my first watch was Philippe Dufour Simplicity. It's 36 millimeter, I believe. It's platinum. And that was the first watch.
I think I
The
have a
next,
picture here. Let me see if I can pull it up for you. Philip Dufour, incredible watchmaker of today. In the Hodinkee interview, you said something really important. You said that Philip Dufour, and you had a quote about artisans versus artists, and how Philip Dufour was an artisan, right? Because he was creating his own
Other
way.
way around.
Or
Other
the
way
other
around.
way around. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And I want to be clear. It's not like I'm defining one group of people as being good or one of group of people as being bad. It's just that there's a difference between an artist and an artisan. And
Yeah.
an artist fundamentally is somebody, I think this is the quote you're referring to, is somebody who produces or creates a language, a particular artistic language. Or if you're a watchmaker, I guess you would say, uh, is a horologist who creates a certain kind of horological language for their watches, or produces a language. And an artisan is somebody who recreates or reproduces a design, but no matter how clever it's done, or no matter how well it's done, or no matter how sophisticated the reproduction or the recreation is, it's still a reproduction or a recreation of somebody else's language. And I've always felt that Dufour, although a watch like this, the one that looks very much like the Chopard model, kind of thing, when you turn that watch over and you look at the guts of the watch and how that's finished, clearly he's somebody who felt that he had something unique to say, and it was said in a way that had not been said before. So he was somebody who was, at the end of the day, creating or producing his own language of design and technical proficiency. So that's what the quote deals with. And that's why I became interested in Dufour initially. I mean, there's nothing the matter with somebody making a design that might refer to a design that came earlier, because let's face it, every great artist I know, whether they're a watchmaker or a painter, I don't care, every really good one is clearly aware of the history of watchmaking, or the history or art history. You have to be, if you're going to be a good watchmaker, or if you're going to be a good artist, you have to know the history. But on the other hand, you can't be a slave to the history, but you certainly have to know that history. And every great designer, watch designer or artist I know, looks backwards over their shoulder at that history knowingly, and yet somehow can take all of that that's gone before them, and they can refract that through their own unique language, sort of through the crucible of their own personal style, and wind up creating something that sort of pushes the discussion of art history or watch history forward. So I think very much when you're looking at a Dufour, certainly the simplicity is based design-wise to a certain extent on the Chopard model. I mean, there's no doubt about it. Certainly when you look at Daniel's watch, clearly he is somebody who loved and studied Breguet with great intensity. But just because his watches may refer to Breguet, Daniel's watches may refer in their, the placement of a dial or whatever to Breguet, in no way does it mean that he's just slavishly copying or reproducing a Breguet, watch. He clearly felt that he needed to push forward the history of watch, the technical component. He did this with this coaxial design. And even people talk about the coaxial design as being a unique thing. It's not. The coaxial design is actually sort of a mishmash, to a certain extent, of earlier escapements that went on before him. There's a component, of the detente in that. There's a component of the Swiss lever in that. There's components. There's a component of an Earnshaw escapement. But what he's done is he's taken all those things that went before him historically, and again, through the crucible of his own personal language, pushed forward the language of watch design, into the future. And that's what I'm interested in when I'm looking at watchmakers or artists or whatever. So
It's truly incredible because a lot of people, they just go in, they have no idea what they're buying, where this design came from. Um, let me ask you about this. So in the watch world, for example, this would be the equivalent of what's happening with, for example, like the Royal Oak and the Nautilus, the original Genta design, and then how it's being reincorporated by the new artists today. Would that
well,
be like an example of this?
the problem I have with a lot of AP or Rolex or Patek or Vacheron, whatever, it's like
Yeah.
there's a real difference, and what we're talking about here is the development of a horological language or an artistic language.
Mm-hmm.
And the key word there is development. We're not talking about novelty.
Mm-hmm.
And development and novelty get confused a lot. I'm just going to use Rolex as an example here, but I'm not bashing Rolex because I love Rolex as a brand. I don't own any, but I certainly have. I would love to own an early 1950s sub, like, 6238 or a 6200 if I could ever find one in fabulous condition, but you're not going to, kind of thing. But having said that, current Rolex, it's like, here's this year's model. Okay, great. And the next year it's like same model, maybe slight modifications, but now it's pink. And then the next year it's like same model, maybe minor modifications or not, but now it's green and on a gold bracelet, where last year's was on a silver platinum bracelet. So you're talking about novelty there. That has nothing to do with development, but now it's, fill in the blank. A new color or a new metal is not development. That's just novelty. And the reason that a lot of watch brands like that engage novelty is because they constantly need to make people feel that they want to continue to be a consumer of that particular brand. So they want to collect the pink one, and then they want to collect the green one on the yellow gold bracelet, and then they want to collect the blue one on the platinum bracelet, and then they want to collect next year's model, the champagne, on the white gold bracelet, and and so on and so forth. And you find that happening a lot with AP. Now occasionally then they come out with like a very unique thing, which can be good or bad. Some, like for AP, I personally thought things like the Black Panther, which was very unique and unusual, was just like, horrid design. But sometimes they come out with something that's great. But fundamentally, to a large extent, I find that those brands are less interested with development, because development means investing a tremendous amount of time and energy and money in some cases, trying to push forward the language. And that means that's a lot of time that you're not making watches, which means that's a lot of time you're not making money. You have to invest all this time and energy and then try to sell this, this really new concept. And it can be a very challenging thing to do for these brands. So it's easier to kind of fall back into the easier road of simple novelty. This one's green, this one's pink, this one's blue, year to year, so on and so forth. So that's kind of the difference between development and novelty.
Interesting. Thank you so much for all this information. It really kind of helps explain, I think, for a lot of people, how the when
And
the
I want to be
brands,
clear.
what they
And there's
do,
nothing that,
what's
there's
the
nothing the
difference,
matter.
right?
There's nothing the matter with buying a wonderful Rolex, and there's nothing the
Right.
matter with buying an AP, and there's nothing the matter with buying a Daniels, and there's nothing the matter with buying a Smith. The point is that you should understand why you're doing what you're doing, so that you are an informed consumer as opposed to being an uninformed consumer. That's the only thing that matters. If you understand those sorts of differences and you're like, you know what, honestly, I just happen to like the Rolex, and I happen to like the blue one, and I happen to like it in yellow gold, and here, then you buy that Rolex, because that's, there's no right or wrong way. There's no ethical or unethical way or immoral or moral way to do this. This is extraordinarily objective. And it's just for every single collector to define their territory of what interests them, kind of thing, and then dig in really deep and be the most knowledgeable and informed consumer you can be within that territory, whatever that territory may be. So I want to be clear that I'm not knocking. If you want to collect G-Shocks or swatches, which are fabulously fun and interesting, well, you collect those G-Shocks and swatches. But, there's so much to discover within the swatch, like, panoply, the rainbow of swatches historically, and there's a lot of interesting and fun designs, and that's what you want to do. Just like be super informed. Which ones are scarcer? Which ones are rare? How do you make condition decisions about those particular watches? Which ones are sort of the top tier versions? Which ones are the less desired? So on and so forth. Like, dig in deep there. That's what you want to do. So there's no right or wrong here.
Exactly. It's all about the education. That's why we're
That's
doing this
it's an
to inform.
educational modality. It's not a
Yeah,
transactional modality. We can talk
yeah.
about numbers all day. It doesn't matter whether you're buying a $500,000 watch or a $500 watch. You apply the same level of care and thought and enjoyment and fun to the transaction, whether it's 500,000 or 500, because you want to be the most informed consumer you can be at that price level, if whatever it is that you can afford. There's no limitation on this. The transactional modality, I mean, a relatively bright golden retriever can do that, kind of thing. But the educational modality, that's where it's all about. That's why I wanted to be a watch collector, because there was so much to learn, not because there was so much to buy.
That's right. You were already very successful in the art. You know your art. You got the very famous art group that you do business from. You're also do you know architecture and jazz. You explored those fields. You came into watches, and you're treating and you're educating kind of people about where the relationship stands between the art world and the watch world, because there's so many watches that people can just go out and buy, and I can help them make a decision. Oh, they want the blue color watch. They want it to be waterproof, and they want it to be under $5,000. We can help them find that stuff.
Right.
But we're talking about here is the relationships, right? And where Roger Smith and George Daniels watches are in that relationship to other watches. And with that, let's take a look at your next watch.
So the next watch I purchased, yeah, I mean, I'll start to go through these more quickly so this doesn't
Sorry, it's
become
okay.
a huge drag. But the first watch is maybe the most important, because it's where you decide for the first time to put your money on the table. And again, whether it's 500,000 or 500, like
Mhm.
pulling out your wallet for the first time at whatever level you at can be nerve-wracking as a collector. As you go through the collecting process, you become more comfortable with it. It becomes a little easier to pull out your wallet. And then sometimes maybe it becomes a little too easy. But at first, that first purchase can really be a nerve-wracking thing,
Mm.
it speeds up after that. So the next thing I purchased was my first Daniels, which was the Daniels Millennium. I purchased that at auction. Actually, that did not come from a private dealer. And that was a kind of a special Daniels Millennium to me, because I worked at Sotheby's in the 1990s for about 4 years. And at the time I worked there was a woman in the London. I worked in New York. There's a woman in the London watch department named Tina Millar, who ran the watch department at Sotheby's in London. And Tina, in the 80s, before he died, had I guess you would say, a freelancer coming in, working for her at Sotheby's to do a lot of the cataloging. And that freelancer was a guy named George Daniels. So, unfortunately, I really never spoke with Tina a lot, and I didn't have the requirement to do so, which is unfortunate, because now looking back, my God, it would have been wonderful to have a direct link to George and talk with her and ask her questions and all that kind of stuff. But I wasn't collecting
Yeah.
watches in the 90s. So the watch that came up at Sotheby's, I believe it was in, what would it have been? 2000 and I don't know. When did I buy that watch?
Be like 2010, between 2010 and 2020.
Oh, yeah, for sure. No, I'm just trying to think. Yeah, it would have probably been around 2019, kind of. Yeah, because I bought my first watch only about 6 years ago. I mean, when we're saying, we were talking about the Dufour, it's only been like 5, 6 years. I haven't been a watch collector for like, decades. So I, so it was around that time, and the Millennium that came up, there were 47 of them that George made. He made that specific watch for Tina Millar,
Wow.
and it has her initials on it. And it had a letter from George, dear Tina, I'm so pleased that you wanted to purchase one of my watches. We've worked, so
Wow.
it came with, it was a very personal thing. And I had worked at Sotheby's and I had known Tina. And so there was an interesting connection there. And George had worked for, I guess, or with Sotheby's. So it was more than just like I guess an average Millennium that I would have bid on anyways, but this had a little bit of a connection, which I liked. So that was my next purchase. The next purchase that followed that was another Daniels, which was the anniversary. I purchased that from a private dealer. And then after that, I mean, I won't go through all of them. The next thing was my first Roger Smith. That's how I came, I guess, if that's where we're getting to. And then that's how I came to Roger Smith. And the period of that four purchases was maybe between, let's say, 2019 or so and roughly 2023. It was maybe a 4-year span. So maybe like one watch a year. It's not like I was buying these things, every month or something.
Yeah. No, these
So,
are
so in that
big
picture,
pieces.
yeah, in that picture right there that you had just shown.
Oh, see here.
So on the left is the Philippe Dufour, and then they're actually in order. The next one is in the middle in the brown strap. That is my Millennium by George Daniels, the Tina Millar Millennium. And then the next thing that's pictured there is the first Roger Smith I purchased in the far right, which is the Series 5 open dial. And it was an early variant of that. So it was really called the Series 2 open dial because he had not officially renamed it as the Series 5.
Oh, interesting. Just a second here. We got a super chat from Mr. G. Awesome to see the great Todd Levin back on the stream like the good old days. Shout out to Mr. GMT. Mr. GMT is the collector from Darwin, Australia. He's an incredible, interesting guy over there. Super into watches. He's got his he did like this dial swap for his day date, and just because he liked the new dial, it's interesting guy. But do you have any of these watches there with you? Because I think you said you had some of them.
Yeah,
off the wrist.
I couldn't bring all of these watches, and then there's others I purchased subsequently. So I mean, holding them up to this camera is ridiculous. You're better off as we discussed. But this is the there we go. Okay, so let's see.
Yeah, that's pretty good camera. Yeah.
Here's your anniversary. This is the Daniels anniversary. And what's very lovely about this particular anniversary is that there were 35 of this made in the gold, in the gold case.
Mm-hmm.
And these were made right at the end of George's life. It's the last watch he designed. And after he passed, Roger continued to finish off the edition because that was always what was planned. And the first few watches in that edition of 35, maybe the first 5 or 6, I think, were physically inspected by George before they sort of left the factory, so to speak. And he signed a document to that effect, just for the, and then he passed away. But, Roger was perfectly capable of making the others. That's no problem in any way, shape, or form. This one is number 4, and it came with, so it's early, and it came with a signed document from George. It doesn't mean it's better. It doesn't mean it's worth any more money. This has nothing to do with the transactional price, but from a value point of view, like historical value, it's nice that this happens to be number 4. So it's one of the earlier ones that George physically signed off on. That's all.
Interesting.
Not that it would matter if you wound up buying number 35. It wouldn't matter. It's just, it's just one of those small details that's a nice little teensy bit of extra history. That's all.
Yeah. That's so he made so few watches in his lifetime.
Yeah.
And it's incredible to have any number. They're all so incredibly special. But a number 4 is a great number. Does that have any special meaning to you?
Yeah, actually, the funny story behind it is that when I was going to buy it, this one was private, and there was one coming up at auction at Phillips at the exact same time, another one, and that was number 24. And I didn't care one way or the other. When I went to go in to speak to, and I will not name the person at Phillips, the expert there, he said, well, number 4, and it's true, in Chinese numerology, and at the time, Chinese and Japanese buyers were very big in the watch market. We have to go back. It's changed slightly due to a number of issues, which we don't need to go into here, trying to keep this definitely apolitical. So, but he said, well, the number 4 is considered very bad luck in Chinese numerology, Japanese numerology, particularly Chinese numerology, because the number 4, the word for 4 sounds like death in the language. And so it's considered very bad luck. And people, you're going to take out all the Asian buyers are not going to want to buy the watch, so on and so forth. And I thought about it for a second. I wasn't really sure, what I would do about that. So what I did is I called
Yeah.
one of my Chinese clients who
Yeah.
I work, in the art advisory field for,
Yes.
and
You actually you could get the
and
like
I
direct
asked them,
story. Yeah.
I asked them point blank. I said, if you were to buy a piece that was editioned, like say it was an edition of 5, and you
Yeah.
always wanted this piece of art very badly, and it was the one that came up as perfect condition, everything was great. It just happened to be number 4 or 5. Would you not buy it because it's number 4? And what she said was interesting. She said, like, look, if you went back 50 years or 70 years, maybe people talk that stuff a little more seriously, superstition, and even today in modern day China, they still do, and whatever.
Yeah.
But she said, the reality is no, I wouldn't think for a moment, a nanosecond about it. So you really don't need to concern yourself with this. But it was nice
Eh,
to speak to somebody who I had from that culture, who I had a very trusting relationship with for many decades because I've acted as their art advisor. And I knew that they would just tell me straight up whether I was making some, horrid mistake that I would never recover from. I'd never be able to sell this watch. And so yeah. So, but I remember the auction house actually telling me, it's really a problem because it's number 4 and it's really not going to sell. And okay. So that's an interesting thing about numbers, since you were asking, as an aside.
That's incredible because actually, I was just talking to a friend about numerology earlier today. You know what he told me? I couldn't believe it. He's like, because he took my birth year, and I was born on February 3rd. He
Mhm.
said that the number 3 is like really good for social media. Apparently, a lot of people.
Wow.
on social
Well,
media-
everybody, every culture has
yeah,
these sort of we have number 13, triskaidekaphobia, whatever. And actually, it's one of the reasons why, as an aside again, that if I can, and if I have to
yeah.
fly, I always prefer to get a flight on Friday the 13th, because the flights are empty in many
Mm.
cases, and the airports are emptier, and I can get right through with no problem. So I love flying on Friday the 13th, if at all possible.
Seat
Um,
11A. Todd, seat 11A. You know what that is? It's the lucky seat. That's when the a plane crashed. The only survivor was 11A.
well, there you go. So, each has their own numbers.
It
So,
doesn't sound like a lucky number though. 11A, you would have never thought. Come on.
yeah.
I don't know. It's numbers are strange, but that is incredible dilemma. You know what? It sounds like this story was invented by the guys that want to like have advantage in auctions. Just this is just to eliminate competition. Don't
No, no,
buy
no, no,
anymore.
no. It was an auction house specialist. It
Yeah, yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
another buyer,
Oh yeah, I
like trying to
believe it.
get me. Yeah. So,
Oh,
the auction house specialist didn't have a dog in the fight because they would want more people to bid. Ideally, the more the merrier, the higher the price. So
God,
they were actually putting me off something.
I have collectors asking me about this type of question all the time. They want number 8. They want number
Yeah.
1.
I've
It's a
never,
big thing. You
yeah,
know,
I know. I don't care,
some
kind of thing.
brands are taking it off the numerology from their watches.
Yeah.
I heard. I think actually FB Journe is going to be eliminating limited editions. No, they can't be bothered with it anymore. There's just too many. It's just too much nonsense about the numbers. They want to make
Yeah.
watches, and they get all this people asking for these.
Nonsense. Yeah.
Yeah, what
And
the?
people think a lower number is better. Like, oh, there's a 0. I want 00. On my watch, I want it to be number 00. It's like, yeah, there's so many more important things to concern oneself
Mm,
with than the number on the watch. Like, that's literally the last thing I'm going to concern myself with
mm.
personally. But that's me. So
James, the advisor, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Todd, have you ever seen guilloche like J.N. Shapiro? Thoughts on his watch? They look a lot like Smith.
yeah.
Is it great collection, by the way? By the way.
Yeah, I mean, I happen to like Shapiro's watches, and the reason I like them is because they're made in America.
Mhm.
But of course his watches aren't handmade in the way a Smith or a Daniels is, but they also don't cost what a Smith or Daniels does. You get a very fine American-made watch I think. I don't know where the prices are because I haven't looked recently. So in my memory, I'm going, it's like 3 or 4 years ago. So I don't know what the prices are now.
It's like
But
32,000. They got some
which I know
out
is it's a lot
ETF.
of money to some people, but what's nice is Shapiro is in that sort of interstitial space between he's not going to be George Daniels, Roger Smith, FP Journe like level independent, and on the other hand, it's not like um, Ming, kind of thing, or G-Shock, or
They just did a collab with Ming. The movements. Jay and Shapiro got Ming movements,
now
a
that's
chronograph mono pusher.
that I find really much more interesting because Shapiro's strong strength, obviously, is that, as was just noted, is the guilloche.
The
That's
guilloche.
really his strong strength. So I think whatever you do extremely well, if you're an artist or a designer or a watchmaker, that's what you want to lean into really hard. If you happen to have developed or you have some natural talent for a specific component of designing or building a watch, you want to lean into that. And so the idea that Shapiro, there's another woman who's wonderful named Brittany Nicole Cox, known Nico Curio, who does a lot of guilloche work, and I think her work is as fine as Shapiro's or better, but her stuff tends to be much more artistic. It's not like the old school basket weave kind of dynamic that Shapiro uses, which is based, on what Daniels and Smith did, which is a very old design, which goes back to Breguet. I mean, that's what we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Like, these are people passing history, through their artistic language. So it's nice to see that. That doesn't bother me at all. But what Shapiro has, again, managed to, as I said, kind of push that through the crucible of his own design and create this sort of infinity. I think he calls it the infinity to design guilloche, which is unique to him, where it's like the basket weave pattern within the basket weave pattern, like a fractal basket weave pattern. And that's so cool. Like, he's taken it another step forward. He's pushed like the language a little far, forward. So I like what he does from the design perspective. The watches themselves are perfectly fine. There's nothing to uh, there's nothing there not to like, kind of thing. But, you have to understand that his watches are not as handmade as those dials. I mean, the dials are the whole purpose. When you buy a Shapiro watch, you're buying it because of those gorgeous dials. That's really why you're buying the watch, and that's what you're paying for, because that takes time and a tremendous amount of effort and care, and it can't be rushed. And to do it right, you really have to apply a tremendous amount of energy and effort. So that's worth paying for. That's what you pay a craftsman to do. But in the end result, I would define him as an artisan and not an artist because of that.
Do you think it would be worth for him to push for that full watch type of business models, Daniel?
I wouldn't. I mean,
Not worth it?
if he wanted to,
Yeah.
sure, I'd be curious to see what he could do. But he's found a really good niche between the $2,000 watch and the $200,000 watch at the $20,000 price point. And there are a lot of buyers at that price point that are looking for really beautiful, well-made watches. And you have a lot of options at the $20,000 price point. But if you want to buy American, you really like the historical dial design, and you want something in terms of the quality of the work, really at the highest possible qualitative level that you could find anywhere. I don't care where it is in terms of that dial design. Shapiro's got to be certainly up there, kind of thing. So at the $20,000 price point, he's fulfilling right now a very useful niche. I think if he starts trying to competing at the $200,000 level, he's going into a whole other level of competition. And, boy, you better be ready for that.
Is there a market for it in United States?
Well, they also, it's just as the watches become as anything becomes more expensive, the air, there's 2 points. The air becomes thinner. There's less buyers. That's just natural. It's a pyramid shape, right? The widest base of the pyramid are, the people who are buying the $200 watch. And that smaller base on that is the 2,000, smaller base on that is the 20, and then the 200,000, then the 2 million, and, kind of thing. And that's the way it is. Having said that, when you get to the very top, there are people there, and this applies to the art world, who just have so much money that the money ceases to function anymore as a kind of device to keep track of stuff. You know, we use money in social media and for most people in their daily lives, it's a way of like keeping track of ourselves and others. But at that level, you're way beyond that. I mean, you can literally afford anything, anytime, anywhere when you want it. It's a different world. And having worked with or continue to work with, you know, many of those people, at that point, you know, if you're making watches at that level, that's why when you hear things like, you know, Journe is oversubscribed, if they're making that, they're very high-end watches, or Roger Smith is oversubscribed, or Akrivia and Recepi is oversubscribed, you know, because at that level, those people are so wealthy, they just want that thing, they can afford it, and they're just going to jostle with each other in line to get it. And if you're making a $200,000 watch, you don't have to sell many over the course of a year to maintain your small workshop and run things successfully. If you're selling watches at, you know, $20,000, you have to sell a lot more watches to pay your rent and pay, you know, and pay a workshop, you know, kind of thing. So there's the math of that. Just it's the pure economics involved in the supply and demand and what
What?
niche you're fulfilling and so on. All that has to be balanced. But
Yes.
these are economic transactional discussions,
Yeah.
obviously. This has nothing to do with the qualitative component of design.
So
It's,
the question is, if he could do it, if he could produce
yeah,
this type of level,
yeah. At this price, he's pretty smart, I
yeah,
think. That's a
yeah.
smart place to be. Yeah,
It probably talks to some people exactly which price point can absorb his type of watches, because
exactly.
at that level, at that business level, you can't be making extra product that you will not be able to move, because you'll be totally screwed.
There's no gray market for J and Shapiro watches. Yeah,
Hmm.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. It goes directly to the buyers. But let's go back to uh, Roger Smith.
Okay.
What drew you to it, and how did the journey happen? And you
Well,
have the watch there as well?
yeah, yeah. So this is the Smith that I had Roger build for myself, but the pictures are much better on his website. I think I told you he
Mhm.
just redid his website last week, and he
Yeah.
uses this watch, which I'm about to show you. This is it's very, very, very hard.
Oh,
Um,
wow. Wow. That dial, that is very creative, because number 1, there's skeletonization. Number 2, it's Breguet
well, there's no
new.
skeletonization. It's just an open dial.
Oh, yeah.
Skeletonization would be,
Yeah.
taking out all the parts so it almost you could see through it. So there's no
Yeah.
skeletonization.
It's incredible how he done that. Positioning the the subdial for seconds at 6, and it's so hollowed out. And the color combination, it's very monochromatic,
Yeah.
very it's design forward. Because
So
his other series, they're a little bit more about the time telling, where here it's like art pure through
Well,
and
that's
through.
the discussion when he designed, when he
Mhm.
said that he would build me a watch, and I told him I had specific questions about the design. You know, we spent a lot of time going back and forth in terms of the design of this specific watch. Yeah, that's a much better picture than, yeah, thank you. And then
Yeah.
I think there's two others. You can swipe, no, you swipe to the side of the watch of the Series 5. There's a little arrows at the bottom, I
Boom, there
think
we go.
there
Oh,
you go.
wow.
So now you can see the back. So
Oh,
that's the
he's got
back.
the basket weave.
Yeah, well,
Oh,
I asked him for that. That was part of the design component.
wow.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, we can discuss if you want why I
Yeah, yeah,
asked
yeah.
for
Well,
all the
tell us
design.
about the
But
choices here. This is
yeah,
incredible. Yeah.
so
Guide us through it.
I don't know if it would help if you want to get up also a picture of like one of his classic early uh
Maybe here, or it's side
uh,
by side. I'll put
no,
them side by side.
no, you would have to go off this website. You know, if
No,
you if you
I can
if
screenshot it here. I'll
yeah,
show you. I'll
if you Google
screenshot.
for like a Roger Smith open dial series 2, most likely a standard design one will come up, a picture, and it's very jazzy looking. It's got gold and the numbers are all and the hands are blued, but it's usually in a white gold or platinum case. And it's a
Got it.
beautiful watch, but they tend to be much more jazzy in terms of their
Mhm.
visual appearance. These earlier series 2 open dial, which is what I had initially by Roger.
Let's see here. I got it right here. Let me pull them up side by side, and that way we'll be able to see it really nicely. Here we go. Share screen. So this was
Well, that's a very early one. Could you find another example
another one.
for me? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
that's an extraordinary, that's like his
Very
first
jazzy.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very jazzy.
So I'm just looking here.
Or be like this one. No, maybe like this. I would. Series to open dial, right?
Yeah, right at the end of this aisle here in the top, all the way on the right. I think that might be.
Like that.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Okay.
That would be a more classic. Uh, there you
Uh-huh.
go.
Oh,
Open dial. Okay, so this is like if you ordered a Series 2 or what is now a Series 5, but if you ordered a Series 2 open dial in the old days, yeah,
uh-huh.
show the watch, not me.
There we go.
Um,
Sorry, we go.
yeah, there you go. This would be what you would get in most cases. Now you could still customize it if you wanted, but this was your standard classic um, open dial design. And this is what I had initially. And I enjoyed it very much. But since I always wished to have one watchmaker make a watch for me that was just for me and no one else alone, anyways, and I really decided upon the fact that I wanted it to be Roger more than any other watchmaker. That's just my decision. I began to think about why I wanted that watch and, what design I wanted and so on. So the whole point for me for the open dial, and I know Roger shares this, is that it is to show off the watchmaker's ability and the beauty of their architectural design. That's the point for having the open dial. Now, Roger, with the earlier iteration you see here, was trying his best to help the viewer see all the different levels, the depth, the architectural depth of the watch. He thought the colors helped that,
The
and
contrast.
the contrasts of colors and so on and so forth. And to a certain extent, I think he was correct. I don't think he was wrong. But it's just, I found it to be, what's that? Oh, okay. I found it to be like way too jazzy for my taste. I mean, I wore it for a while.
Got a little
Yeah,
video here.
yeah. This is a one where the numerals are Arabic,
Yeah.
but you get the idea. And there were other small design components about it that I liked, but I just, thought I had my own ideas about here because it's Arabic. You can see that they've inscribed palms, palm
Oh,
tree fronds on the back there. That have been hand etched. So that's like a, different kind of, so there is
wow.
customization. You can see already the
Yeah.
Arabic numerals were a customization. He was
Yes.
willing to engage in the palm, the engraving of the palm fronds. So, I already knew he was interested in some customization. So when I spoke with him, I said, look, the whole point for the open dial is to obviously emphasize the architectural build of the watch. And I think that can be best done by removing everything else that's like designy, which means removing all color completely, reducing it to the bare minimum in terms of color and design so that the focus is the architecture. And I also, when we discussed this, I said this would mean, we no blued numerals, which are very standard, no blued hands.
Very
Everything would
difficult to
be,
do as well.
well, it was just, it was more like conceptually, the discussion with Roger was like, you're kind of
Yeah.
removing all the kind of historical English design, the brugade design, the basket weave design, all this, we talked about this. And
Mm.
I tried to get him to understand that where I was going with this is that I wanted a very minimal, very reduced, a watch that was very minimal and very reduced in terms of any design component. I wanted all the emphasis on like the three-dimensional architecture. So after we kind of cleared that, I said, now I'd like to use the basket weave pattern because it's so classic. Can you do that on the face of the watch, on the, what would be the very bottom level of my watch, on the face
Hmm.
that you're looking at? And he said, no, we can't on an open dial do that.
Hmm.
So I said, well, the problem with the open dial face is that if it's just a flat piece of metal, light doesn't refract around a lot in the case. So it looks very flat. It looks very uninflected. It doesn't have a sense of depth. So I said, in that case, can you do hand hammering? This is something that Retchup does on a lot of his dials. I said, are you willing to hand hammer that entire plate underneath at the very bottom of this, because all those little nooks and crannies help the light bounce around and refract a lot, and it gives a much livelier effect without making it a different color. And he was like, ah, I see where
Wow.
you're going. So he's like, yes, I'm willing. We will hand punch, hand hammer the base plate for you. Um, and he started to like get into like the idea of like where I was going with this kind of idea. You'll
Yeah.
also note here the R.W. Smith, the cartouche right below the 12, and the up down thing. I used white ink. I asked him to use white ink,
Oh.
not black ink. Can you see that that's white?
Yeah. It's a
Because
white little
the
enamel. Yeah.
black ink like stands out and becomes like that's all you see. The white ink again minimizes, reduces, intensifies the monochromatic component of the watch
Mm,
face. So like there were a lot of there, and also since you have this picture up, if you look at the minute dots going all the way around the outer
the
ring,
minute
those
dots.
are
Yeah.
all white ink, not black ink. Those are all white ink. So, there are a lot of considered decisions here.
Every detail.
The only
You.
thing I couldn't get is you can see that there are, I think, showing to you here on the watch face, there are 4 jewels.
Yes.
You can see one
Oh.
like below the 11,
Oh.
one
Oh.
underneath the cartouche, and those jewels. I said, now I know normally they come in red. That's the classic color. It's basically a kind of it's carborundum. It's a ruby material. But I said, could we get those colorless? Could we get a
Yes.
colorless stone?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the only place where Roger said, listen, I can get them, but they're a pain in the butt to get. And some of the colorless ones, for some reason, have a
Mhm.
tendency to crack easier than
Really?
when you're shaping them. When you
Oh.
then the red ruby ones are a bit harder. So he said, no, I will not use clear carborundum. And I said, it's okay because realistically, it's not like they're going to like stick out too much. So we did go with those are the classic sort of pinkish. I just said, get the lightest pink color you can. Don't use something that's like an intense ruby red carborundum. He said that I can do because they do come in various shades when we get them, and we'll use something as pale as possible. So
Interesting.
but every little detail is thought through. Um, and then when you look at the back plate, so the front of this, just looking at this for one last moment, it's a very contemporary design for Roger, considering he does classically designed watches. We have the hand hammered base, we have the completely monochromatic design. There's no bluing, which is very classical. So this is a very, very contemporary take. So on the back side of the watch, I
Okay.
wanted to honor the historical components that we weren't doing on the front. So I don't know if you
I got
can
it
blow,
bigger. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
if you can make that a little bit larger.
There we go.
So on the back, first of all, I said on this back plate, uh, and on the fourth cock, the balance cock, so on and so forth, could we do the classic basket weave there on the back? And he said yes, because that's classic.
Yes.
Also, these classic watches that George and Roger do, the classic English design is bimetallic. So you'll notice we have a mixture
Mm.
of red gold
Oh.
along with
Okay.
the silver color, right? So it's bimetallic because that's also very classic to English watches.
Is that covered gold or is it like from gold gold?
Well, since you're asking about it, this watch is also a very, very special watch because all the major plates here, these big, thick, chunky plates on the front and back, they are all normally they would be brass. That's the
Yeah.
normal in a very high, even in a high, they are brass.
Yeah.
These are all made out of solid gold. So this is
Oh
literally a
my
gold
God.
watch. Yeah, all the plates in this watch are solid gold. The only thing that's not is the excuse me, the
Okay.
watch God, sorry. I'm
Like this barrel over here
no,
or
yeah, it's all
balance
solid
wheel.
gold. It's just the case. The case of the
Oh,
watch is platinum. That is platinum.
Oh, okay.
But
Wow.
but but
What?
all the plates inside the watch are not brass; they are solid gold. So that's another unusual thing. But in the historical component or the reference, we have the bimetallic situation on the back of
Mhm.
the white gold and red gold. We have the basket weave pattern that's used, which is a nod to the historic kind of, a brigade or, his background. So the nods to the historic component of his watchmaking design are here, but
Mhm.
they're hidden from view. They're on the back of the watch. They're just for me to kind of enjoy, in my own way. And you'll notice again the front plate of the watch is hand hammered. We talked about that. Notice
Mhm.
that the plates here on the back are the classic. They are the classic gilded, right? Right. They're not polished. They're not anglage. They're not hammered here. They're the
Uh-huh.
classic, because they're solid
Oh.
gold. It's not gilded brass, but it's just
Mhm. Like sun blasted.
it's just the blasted standard English classic finish here. So that's another nod on the back of the watch to classic design. So the front of the watch is super contemporary. The back of the watch has all the historical nods and winks that you would want, in that way. Um, so so that's kind of the watch. There's one other component to this watch, which is highly unusual for Roger. All his watches come with, the classic pin buckle, which most all the Daniels
Okay.
with pin buckles. This, all Roger Smiths comes with pin buckles. I had him, and if you look at me here, I don't know if you
Oh,
can
let's
see
see
it.
it. Let's see here. Yeah.
So,
We need to see it
but
more.
but this watch has a platinum deployant.
No
That's
way.
that's custom made by Roger just for this watch. So this is a solid platinum deployant to match the case.
And this
Um,
balances out a little bit
and
better.
I don't know if you
What?
can see the letters up at the top, RWS.
Wow.
So I did that just because I happen to like deployant clasps. I like the way they sort of click into place on my wrist. I mean,
Mhm.
pin buckles are fine, but I figured if I was going all the way, there should be no half measures with this watch. Doing things like the solid gold plates, the solid platinum deployant, definitely upped the cost of the watch just due to the materials, but also, extra design time. Roger has to stop his line when somebody wants gold plates on a watch because they're used to turning out brass plates. They have to remove all the material. They have to
Yeah.
get the gold. They have to get that gold material made and then like start up the machine again. So it's like, it's a pain in the butt for him to do that. And I
Yeah.
think there's only 4 or 5 watches he's ever made that have solid gold plates for that reason out of the 150 he's created. He's got to want to go with your whole design component and ethos.
Mhm.
So that's kind of how we got, you know, that's kind of how we got to this watch. So this watch is made for me. It's my watch, largely to my specifications, which kindly Roger was willing to, collaborate with me, engage with me on a few things.
Yeah.
I asked him for some others. I asked him also, I want a tourbillon. Would you do a tourbillon in this watch? He said, absolutely not. I'm doing a new series that's going to come out eventually. It's not out yet. That's going to be a tourbillon. I'm not going to do those now. So, that was something I asked for, but I couldn't get. But it's fine. Like you don't get, it wasn't necessary, but it would have been an extra super cool component to this watch. It would have been the only tourbillon open dial.
Mm.
So you don't get everything you want, but you get the opportunity at least to collaborate with a living artist
Yeah.
on
Yes.
something that you wind up wearing and looking at every single day. I wear that. I didn't buy this to put it in a bank vault. I bought this watch to put on my wrist,
That's the daily
and
beater.
this is my daily beater
Let's
now.
see it. Let's see it on the wrist,
So
Todd.
I wear it every day. I, like you, got a custom Jean Rousseau
Oh,
strap. I did it
shout
in
out
New
to Jean
York.
Rousseau.
Yeah, who makes beautiful straps. And, I wear this watch, basically, every day. And the nice thing about it is
Mm.
it to most people who know watches, it doesn't look like
Hmm.
a big gold Rolex on your wrist. It doesn't look like anything. It looks like, oh, he's wearing a watch. I feel more safe in an odd way, although the cost of this watch is obviously more than a Rolex. I feel safer walking around with this on my wrist in normal exterior environments than I would wearing a gold Rolex with a diamond rainbow bezel, kind of thing, because nobody knows what this is. And because it's also all like sort of silver in color, it looks more like
Yeah.
a sport watch. They probably assume that this is stainless.
Yeah.
They probably don't think the plates are gold and blah, blah, all that sort of stuff.
No
So,
shot. Exactly.
so,
No shot.
so
Nobody
I,
knows.
I like that for all its customization, for all this, that it's a handmade watch, for all these components, it successfully flies under the radar.
I
I
think
think I've had one person maybe ever so far in the 6 months I've worn this watch come up to me and go, is that a Smith, kind of thing? And obviously a knowledgeable person who knows watches, but
yeah.
it's not like flashing around with a Patek on your wrist or a
Mhm.
big, huge AP, kind of chunky thing, or a Nautilus, where people look at it and they immediately know what that thing is. Uh, and bad people might be tempted to do something bad. There's a lot less of a chance of that happening with this watch, interestingly. So,
It's a really special watch, but that's the perfection of it though, because you don't want the people who know it though, it changes their life. Because I think the first time I met you, it was at Phillips auction house.
yeah.
I was doing a live stream. I didn't know much about the George Daniels, but I think one of the viewers, man, these guys, they know everybody. They saw you pass in the stream, and they lost their mind. They're like, Tim, you got to go talk to Todd. You have to show that watch, because it's truly special. So it's people that know, they know, and it shows that Roger Smith trusts you a lot, because this collab that you guys came up with, this is truly a combination of many fields of art. Like, looking at the Smith, the way you design it, there's so much architecture. Like you said, I mean, it almost looks like a Guggenheim museum type of situation, right?
Well, it's interesting. I think, and you don't have to go back to showing the two side by side, but
Yeah,
once we did remove all, because you never know how it's going to work
yeah,
out until the thing is made and you're looking at it. You can think, you can conceive all the great ideas you want about,
mhm,
we'll do this for this reason and that for that reason and so on and so forth. But the proof is in, the finished product. Kind of, it's great to conceptualize ideas all day, but it's in the manifestation of the thing where whether it's successful or not. And when I look at this watch, I can honestly say it has an extraordinarily, particularly on the wrist in real life, architectural aspect to it. You feel like you're flying over a mountain range or something, and you're looking down into, a really dimensional viewing situation. One person, somebody who I respect very much, one of my good friends who's a very well-regarded watch dealer in London, who knew about that this was going on, but wanted to wait. And the guy came to New York and he saw it in person. He said it's like looking down through like water into an aquarium, and you can just see all this depth below the surface of the water, and you just feel like has just like a pond with real depth or something. So, and that's that was the whole point, is to show off, display the architectural sophistication of this design. So I think it worked out. I got lucky. I'm happy it worked out in terms of what the idea was.
The more, thank you for the explanation, because when you truly understand how this watch was constructed and why elements were chosen for their point, then you could truly appreciate sophistication of something like this.
Well, if
This
it's
is
your kind of thing, like, look, this is what I enjoy. Other
yeah,
people may, and it's fine. Like, clearly, I did this for myself, right?
yes,
I didn't, and it's not a flex because other people don't even know what the hell it is on my wrist. So there's no flex here involved in terms of like a day-to-day dynamic. And this is the first time I've ever been on social media or whatever talking about it. So it's not like I, go on all the time and do this. But I'm happy to do it. It doesn't matter to me one way or the other. But um, another
no,
nice little secret that the watch holds is I wanted my initials in the watch because it was made for me. You know, it's not just like another beautiful design he did with somebody. Like, this is super. So I told him, though, I wanted the initials to be hidden.
Yes.
So I said, would you engrave my initials? He said, yes, we can engrave like TBL. And also, I don't know if you can see it. Forgive me, but if you could just, yeah, okay. Let me just see. I'm looking at the picture here. All right. I don't know, but if you look, okay, very carefully along the left edge, okay, you see where the 950 is on the case, the
Yeah.
950? Go just to the right of that. And you see the letters on a gold cartouche there. It says AU. Can you just see that on the inside of the watch? Just literally the letters AU
Hmm.
right to just above the
Oh,
950.
wait a second. 950. Oh, yeah, over
And
here.
go,
Yes,
go
I
right
see it. I
there.
see it. Yeah.
Okay, so that cartouche right there, hold that, normally would have the year the watch was made in Roman numerals. Okay,
Mhm.
that's where
Yep.
Roger would put the date. Okay,
Aha.
but because the watch is made of solid gold, on the movements that are solid gold, he puts MVMT of AU, which is the periodic, um, definition for gold, right? So movement of gold. Okay. So
Yes.
because that, he can't put the date of the watch there. Now it doesn't matter.
Mm.
Don't shift this picture. You're fine. But because there's all those other on the case, there's all those other stamped bits of information. You'll know what year that this watch was made. But normally he would do it on the inside on that cartouche, but he couldn't because if the watch is made of gold, he substitutes movement of AU for the date. So what he said is, Todd, I can put your initials, TBL, and the Roman date, together, and I can engrave that wherever you want. And I said, great. Can you engrave it on the inside of one of the plates where no one will ever be able to see it unless they take this watch completely apart? But it will always be there. So even after I die and this watch goes on, my initials and the date will always travel with this watch secretly, hidden inside. And the only person who would ever see it is a watchmaker who has to take the watch completely apart for like a cleaning in 50 years. And so he did that for me. He sent me a picture of the plate so he could show me he had done it, kind of thing.
Mm.
And then, I have that picture, and then he put the watch together. So you can't see it, but that's a little hidden secret within the watch, which is
It's an
also kind of
Easter
nice.
egg.
Yeah, it's an Easter egg.
You put a little Easter egg.
It's one of the few watches, and certainly probably the only one by Roger Smith that has an Easter egg. So,
Wow.
yeah. So everything was really carefully thought through and discussed, to the nth degree.
Mm. Shout out to Sean here for a $20 super chat. He says, Mr. Levin, thank you so much for sharing the details. Your genuine enthusiast in is evident. Enthusiasm to I forgot how to read, Todd. Enthusiasm is evident and infectious. I'm loving this. Thank you, sir. Uh, Todd, seriously, thank you so much for sharing this important kind of information. How people can just appreciate watch collecting and how much depth there is to it. W- Before you have to go, because I know we talked about possibly
Mhm.
an hour and a half,
Yeah,
and I said, listen, if we're going to be having fun, we can extend it to like an hour and a half, and then I'll
yeah,
let you go.
yep.
So let me know if you got a little bit of time. Yeah.
Yeah, I probably got about 10 minutes. So,
Okay. Perfect.
mhm.
Fantastic. We'll do 10 more minutes.
And I started late anyway. So, yeah, we can go for 10 or 15 more minutes. That's fine. I don't have a problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Let's see here. How do you see the lineage, the bridge between George Daniels's approach and Rogers' continuation of their craft? Like how?
I think it's pretty obvious. I mean, like, look,
Mhm.
Roger is continuing. His first group of watches, the Series 1, Series 2, these earlier watches, are a clear continuation of the Daniels method. I think Roger understands something. People are like, oh, these watches are just like Daniels and so on. But Roger understands what George taught him, which is watchmaking is an incremental, gradual process. You don't just throw
Yeah.
out everything and think you're going to reinvent the entire wheel. It's a gradual, you'll get to where you're going, but you have to go through all the steps and jump over all the hurdles. And you can't go on to step 3 until you've perfected step 2. Then you can go on to 3, then you can go on to 4. I think Roger in his mind sees this series 1, 2, 3, 4, this ongoing series.
Yeah.
The first watches really relate very much to George. The third series there was the first application of a calendar. You know,
Mhm.
the second series 2 has the up down. Then the series 3 has the calendar. The series 4 is his first major development. This traveling aperture window around the circumference that creates a calendar. And Roger did this because he didn't like every other watch he saw where the calendar is somewhere in the middle of the face, and the minute, and sometimes even the hour hand, you know, at one point or another occlude the visibility of the calendar as the hands
Oh.
travel around. So he was like, I would like to create a brand new idea. And this is now, he's moving from just kind of reinterpreting and repurposing George's ideas to moving into his own, but it's an incremental, gradual, you know, sort of situation. And this is where it begins, probably with the series 4 to be most accurate, where he says, I need to create a movement that's never been created before. In the same way George created the coaxial design, I need to create a calendar movement that just doesn't exist. And he came up with this the circumference moving aperture window that, you know, that works for the calendar, and in no way does it occlude at any point in time the the timekeeping kind of situation. So and then he moved on to the Series 5, which is really like the open dial, which is something George never did because George didn't like open dial watches. So now he's doing a design which is not antithetical
Oh.
to George's. It's just George didn't like open dials or skeletonized movements at all. He never
Yeah.
did one. He had no interest. And he was on the record saying, I don't think that this is a necessary thing to do. But
Mhm.
Roger felt differently. He wanted people to appreciate the architecture of his design. And so again, just to reiterate, so then my point was, if that's the reason he felt that way to move on to the Series 5, I want to do everything I can to amplify the concept of let's really focus on the architectural build design of the watch. And that's blah, blah, blah. We did that. And now he's gone on to the Series 6, which is a version of the Series 4, which is the most recent watch that was just released, which I think is underneath the Series 5 picture here,
Let's see here.
if you can scroll
Series
up. And this
5.
was just released, this
Wait, wait.
week.
So,
No,
yeah,
go
the
Series
Series
6.
6. Yeah.
Right, which is
Here we
much
go.
like the Series 4,
Uh-huh.
except it doesn't have the moon phase, which he felt was sort of superfluous, and it doesn't have the day of and the week, because he also felt that was superfluous. So he's minimizing some things, and he's clarifying others, and also by removing the moon movement and the other additional mechanics for the day and date, the watch became much thinner. And he was also interested in making this watch a thinner watch than the Series 4. So, and he also upgraded it, sort of like a Mark II calendar movement. So again, it's incremental. Eventually, I know he's interested in a chiming feature. I know he's interested in a chronograph feature. I know he's interested in a tourbillon. Like, these are things he said to me, but those are going to be things you're going to be looking. That'll be the Series 7 and the Series 8 and the Series 9. And I think he wants to have 10 series when it's all done. That's what he's conceived from day one. But he didn't just go straight to series number 10. He started with number 1. He perfected that. He went on to the Series 2. And that's what people don't understand about Roger, is he's got the big vision in his head, but he works in an excruciatingly, granularly, careful, thoughtful process, making everything perfect with what he's working on before he takes his next step. So,
Very deliberate.
yeah.
It's he when he puts it out, it has to be perfect.
And this is
And
something that he learned from George. George, in terms of the watch designs he did, which were mostly pocket watches,
Mhm.
every pocket watch he built on some design feature that he tried to improve or create in the previous pocket watch. He didn't create a watch and then somebody said, I love that. Can you make me one? He's like, oh, sure, I'll make you one too. It didn't
Yeah.
work that way. He built a watch, and that took a whole year, because he built them literally by hand, and he's the first person to do that. And once he finished that watch, and he had finished whatever it was he was trying to accomplish, the next question he posed himself was, how can I now take that what I conceived in that watch down the line a little further? How can I make it better? How can I improve upon it? How can I make it more efficient? So, again, this idea of development in Roger and in George's watches, consistent development, not novelty, not I'm doing a blue one now and a pink one then and an orange one after that and so on. That's not what Roger or George were interested in.
Do you think Roger can still surprise us, or is his role now more about refinement and perfection?
Oh, I mean, again, surprise is more novelty oriented. I mean,
Hmm.
I want to be impressed. I don't want to be surprised. And I think that, we'll continue to be impressed in an ongoing way because I've spoken with him a little bit and I know some of those things coming down the line. Like I said, I mean, what makes sense? There's going to be some sort of
Uh-huh.
chiming feature but he'll probably rethink the entire way of doing that. There's going to be some sort of chronographic feature eventually. God willing, he should live a long time, and he'll
Yeah.
probably rethink that. There'll certainly be a tourbillon. He's only built 4 tourbillons that I know of watches before. They were very early. Like he just did them early on in his career. They were all one-off pieces. They weren't meant to be a series. But now he's going to think of it in terms of a series proposition. And I know it's why he said he wouldn't build me a tourbillon in my watch, because he said he's saving that for one of the next series. So I think there's
Oh.
going to be many, you know, complications coming down the line. But like this calendar complication, he literally had to invent from scratch a new
Mhm.
calendar complication that literally never existed before. And it's not like you just do that in a couple of months. You work on that. He probably worked on that initial calendar complication, this traveling aperture, date aperture watch, for like
Mhm.
5-7 years before he considered it to be perfected. These things don't just happen overnight. It really takes time. And all that time you're working, again, you're not making money because you're not building your other watches. You're building this thing, which is taking you like 5 years to resolve the design, and you're not building the things that would be making your money, which is why you need your team to be out there making some watches so you can basically just have enough money coming in so you can spend all day working on this stupid complication for 5 years trying to figure it out, kind of thing, and do nothing else. So
Mm.
it's a very different build dynamic than brands like Rolex and Patek and AP and Vacheron and those sorts of things. It's just a very different way about thinking about watchmaking.
Mm.
Not better, not worse, just different.
And it's amazing because it's not that he just has to come up with any design, any. No, it's a lot of it is history kind of based. He has to know what's been created before, what hasn't been created before. He knew what problems do people have, and to identify it and do it in such a way that pays respect to George Daniels is extraordinary. It's an achievement. I
And
w-
I think George instilled
mm,
that in Roger because of his care about designing the coaxial movement. I mean,
yeah.
everybody told him to build a new escapement was a waste of time and a useless endeavor. And, it's still, to be truthful, the coaxial escapement, is not in every watch and it's not like a standard thing. It's still like a very narrow, Omega has it in some of their watches. But in
Todd,
essence,
Todd. I'm wearing a coaxial escapement.
right. But in terms of all the escapements that are manufactured today, it's still a very small sliver
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
escapements that are made
Not
and
me.
used. So, but, so it's, popularity is not the way that we define greatness,
But
and
like,
it shouldn't be.
but the thing, I think people thought that's what I respect about George Daniels is that the regular escapement, it worked fine, and I think it's very successful because it's kind of like this assessment between complexity and how
Well,
good it is.
the problem with the regular escapement from George's point of view is that it
Yeah,
didn't work fine,
right.
and at the time that he was designing it, his concern was that the Swiss watch, the entire Swiss watch and English, but I mean, it was considered the Swiss watch domination was going to be taken
Mm.
over by the quartz situation.
Yes, it was over.
And he was like, well, if you can just get a quartz battery and it's more accurate than any other escapement, manual escapement that exists in the world, right? What's the point? Like, what are we doing here? Like, it's
Mm.
time to give up. And George said, screw that. I'm going to build an escapement that is as good or better than the quartz. And it doesn't need to be handled every 5 to 7 years and go in for a cleaning because I'm going to make it frictionless. It's not ever going to need oil, and it should be able to essentially run for 50 or 100 years. And quartz batteries have to be, exchanged every 6 months.
Yeah.
He said the primary purpose of a quartz battery is to commit suicide. That's George's quote. So he said, if I can make a manual wind watch that all you have to do is go to your watch, like my, right here, and I wind it every day,
Yeah.
which I enjoy doing. I wake up every morning. What's one of the first things I do? I take my watch and I wind it up for the day. First thing, like I haven't showered or anything. I wind my watch and I enjoy that little, it's a little thing that brings me so much pleasure. George literally did that. He beat the quartz watchmakers at their own game. Now, the whole thing never became popular, but he did beat them.
I think it was more inspiration, right? He inspired all
I
the,
think, and
right?
because of that, now you have all these independent watchmakers wanting to do cool stuff because they're like, yeah, I can do cool stuff too. There was no independent watchmaking before George Daniels because there were no independent watchmakers, really.
He proved that the industry was not like extinct. Like it wasn't unnecessary. It was something that was very necessary, because so many people use watches not just for the time telling, and I think that's what was forgotten is that everybody got really excited. Oh, we have these. Oh, you mean you could tell the time, and it's gonna cost me $10 instead of, which at that time was like maybe $500 for a watch.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, and they forgot how important watches were as like the mementos and objects that we have with us through our life. And the
Yeah, I
same
think that's really I don't buy watches to tell the time. I mean, my phone
Mhm.
does that perfectly fine for me. There's no reason to buy a watch to tell the time. But if I'm going to buy a watch to tell the time, it better be accurate and it better be one that I don't have to concern myself with, managing on a, every couple of year basis. And it better be something that can take the shocks and bumps of daily life. And it better be something that if I'm wearing it on my wrist every day, that I personally, and whoever I am, and this is for everybody out in the, the viewing area to decide for themselves, it's got to be something that I want to engage with every day, that brings me pleasure, that challenges me, that makes me think a little bit. Every day I wear the watch and I look at it, it brings me, it's like living with the art in your home, right? I live with art in my home because fundamentally art has always helped me better understand myself. And the watches that I buy do the same thing in a different way, but they do the same thing.
Sean, thank you so much for the $20 super chat. Timmy, thank you for having such a distinguished guest on your show. We hope to see Mr. Levin again and perhaps on the it's a regular basis. Todd is a very busy guy, but look,
Yeah.
I'll be trying to reach out to you more frequently. We'd love to have you as a recurring guest and get updates from you, because of the like the position that you fit in this whole wristwatch space. You can teach us a lot,
No.
because I don't know, when you look at independent watchmaking scene today, Todd, from Rushepi to
Mhm.
FP Journe, how does Daniel and Smith stand apart?
I don't know if they stand apart. I see them in a continuity. I see this as like a river, and you can put your foot in the river at any point that you want, kind of thing. So I don't know that they stand apart. I certainly think that anybody who knows anything about watches, whether they like the Breguet influenced Daniel's design or they don't, I hear a lot of people complain, well, they say, oh, the finishing isn't very nice. Everything is squared off. There's no anglage. There's no Swiss waves, blah, blah, blah. But these watches the British watches are finished within a millimeter of their life, as are Swiss watches. But the anglage and the Swiss waves are replaced by a different set of parameters. The British watchmakers obviously find that to be too showy, too jazzy in terms of the finish. And they don't want people, overly concerning themselves with the finish. They want people concerning themselves with the watchmaking capabilities and the technical build, kind of thing. And there's no right or wrong way here. It's just when people speak with like uninformed ignorance about, oh, well, Daniels and Smith watches, they're just not well finished. Well, that's absolute nonsense,
It's
you know,
not
kind of thing.
understanding.
And I've had to argue with people about that, like argue with people occasionally on that with social media, you know, who really don't understand what they're talking about. And the watches are
Roger
finished
Smith,
literally within an inch of their life, but it's a different kind of finish. That's
and
all it
it's
is.
a British kind of an authentic British finish that
There's
originated in Britain, right?
yeah, it's a decidedly British context, and it's different than the Swiss context. But I love
Yeah,
them both. But it's like
yeah.
having two children. I love my children equally, but they're both very different. You know,
It-
owning the Dufour, my
yeah.
Dufour is finished in a radically different way than the Daniels is. I love both my children equally. They're
Mhm.
both beautiful to me. One day I'm in one mood, another day I might be in another mood. That's all. You know, that's the way. But I love them both because they are both equally impressive and incredible in their own way. And there's no one singular right or wrong way to do the thing. The only right and singular way to do a thing is extraordinarily well, period. However you're doing it. That's all I care about. So I see Daniels and Smith in continuity with many other designers. And now it's exciting to see new younger designers. And I know you've discussed many of them on your feed here before, so we don't have to go through them. New designers, you know, pushing off from George, who's passed away, and Roger, who's already in his 50s, you know, but we're talking about people in their 30s, you know, so they're a generation removed, you know, from Roger, or even in their 20s, already getting, you know, tremendous accolades for what they're doing, and continuing to push these ideas and parameters forward in their own unique language, which is great. So,
Yeah.
and now I'm looking at those people and wondering, well, gee whiz, you know, who do I want to purchase next, and what's my next step, you know, kind of thing, and so on and so forth. So that makes it fun and exciting, and that's why watch collecting in general is such a, you know, swell thing to be involved in.
Incredible. What do you think outside of your own watches? What independents are exciting you right now?
Oh, I mean, I look at everybody and stuff, and I find something
Yeah.
useful and interesting in most of them. I mean, I'm on the list. I've been waiting for two watches from Retshop now for quite a while. I mean, I'll get them eventually, but those were like my next step after the Dufour, after the Daniels, after the Smith was completed. I've been, you know, for a number of years on these lists, so I'm just waiting for my, what do you say, your number to come up, and them to give you the
Mm.
call and say your watch is ready. Pay us the other half. So. You know, so I have two watches with Retshop that I'm waiting for, and
Is one? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
oh yeah, yeah.
Did
Well,
you
one
work
is
with him
the
on the design, or they're kind of
well,
serious?
I wanted to buy one from the Acrivia line, and I wanted to buy one from the Retchepi line. Um, so he's kind of shuttering the Acrivia line now, but this
Yeah.
watch was obviously ordered like years ago. But it's the AK03, which is the jumping hour chiming version of his watch. And he's had a big, not a problem, but he's never been happy with the way he resolved the, I think the chiming mechanism and how that's combined with the jump hour. So he's been constantly refining it. He only built 3 or 4 of these watches, and then he pulled back the series because he wanted to really, he just wasn't happy with the resolution of the design. So he's been spending years really still continuing to work on it. And I think there are a couple people like me, maybe there's 3 or 4 more who ordered it,
Yeah.
and then he shuttered the thing. So he's going to fix the design, and then he's going to build those 3 or 4 more, and then it's over.
Mm.
So we just have to wait around, you know. So that's one watch, and the other watch is one of the classic Retchepi chronometra, you know, watches. I'm getting one of the series 2, and I'm just, you know, I'm just waiting for it to for mine to, you know, be delivered. So
There's no rush. These are incredible watches.
yeah.
And
So
Shep is an interesting character himself.
yeah. So you know, they'll get here when they get here. It'd be nice if I were still alive and in good enough shape to enjoy the watches.
Yeah.
But if not, you know, my daughter will be very happy with them, and that'll be that. So.
No, you're looking great, Todd. and you got to stay, good looking, stay in shape, so that we can have you on the stream many more times. We hit 1 hour and 30 minutes. I'm gonna let you go, spare
Perfect.
you your mental game, and maybe we'll have you sometime soon on the future again. Okay,
All right.
maybe at the next Smith watch, hopefully sooner.
All right,
Or
man.
or if you get your Reshep, I would love to have you on the stream to unbox it and show us. Uh, the watch as you get it, and what's your take on it, seeing it in person for the first time?
All right. Sounds cool.
Before you leave, just show us that watch one more time on the wrist, the really really special
It's upside
daily
down.
beater. There we go, that's the daily beater.
I don't
Wow,
know. It's really hard to. Yeah.
it looks really great, even in like not a perfect resolution.
Yeah, that's for sure.
There's that gray on gray dial. You could see like, I don't know, it's like you said, it's like looking into a fishbowl, like a pond.
Yeah.
Cool effect.
All right, man.
See you
Have a
soon.
good one. Bye.
Take care. Take care, guys. That was Todd Levin talking about Roger Smith and George Daniels watches. Make sure to follow him on the Instagram. I'm going to put the link in the chat. Go subscribe to Todd Levin Group. Hire him for your art curation. I don't know. You have to be a baller, though, because Todd works with people at the highest level, and is a true expert in art, architecture, jazz, and now wristwatches. There you go. Hopefully, you guys found that to be educational in some way. Um, by the way, let me drop the link. If anybody wants to join, I should have had the link pinned. If anybody wants to join to talk about the interview, and I thank you so much, guys. You were so cool. The chat was so amazing, very supportive. I love you guys. Gotta be honest. It was truly easy discussion. No major issues. Gatsby, thank you so much for the $20 super chat. Thank you, Mr. Levin and Timmy, for a fantastic and informative interview. Perhaps you'll come back when you do take delivery of that beautiful Acrivia. Yes, I would love to see the Acrivia. Those are those are incredible. Um, Acrivia and what Reshep is doing is very kind of similar, I think, to what Roger Smith doing, but the Swiss version of Smith. Reshep really pushing the boundaries on the Swiss side of the pond. David H says, "Great guests, to say the least." Thank you so much, David. I hope you guys were able to learn something from it. I had a lot of fun talking with Todd about these Smith watches, and Daniels, and Philip Dufour. Um, Definitely hope to have him on again. I've had some other stuff that I was gonna ask him, but hey, he said an hour and 30. He said an hour, okay? But I was able to keep him on the stream for an hour and a half. I really, guys, spent a lot of time preparing, researching for this incredible guest. And yeah, thank you for being cool. All right. Remember, James the Advisor is reminding everybody to smash that upvote button. Mimdi Chaz, nice work. Bring up the photos, Tim. Really fascinating conversation. Thank you. Thank you so much, James. Really appreciate that. It's true. It's true. The These Roger Smith watches are incredible. I had a chance to meet Roger Smith in Dubai, actually. He's a great guy, by the way. I have a picture. See, I was wearing my Daytona at a time. Probably should have had my Speedmaster, but that's fine. Um, by the way, it looks like Double D was there and never told us that he's gonna be there. But yeah, that's where I got a chance to see some of the Georges Daniels's watches. Oh, sorry, Roger Smith's watches in person. So I got a chance to see it. Here, let me bring this up for you guys. Smith Series 1 and the Smith Series 2 in Arabic. So those were the ones I got a chance. Hey, Sean, welcome to the show. You just missed Todd Levin.
No, I didn't want to jump on while he was there. You were doing a great job asking the right questions, and it's great that it was just the two of you guys, and we had a chance to hear him. It's
I tried not to
we
talk.
only had we had a little bit of time with him. He's he was gracious to give you a
Yeah,
little bit more time. We definitely didn't want to take anything away from it, and great job, Timmy. That was an amazing guest, and
exactly.
it's
I prepared, Sean. You see, I prepared. He said an hour and a half. I tried to keep my mouth shut as much as possible. Let him talk. Just
and
just listen
you
and
made
learn.
Oshin proud to remind him of the hour and a half time
Yes.
limit and be respectful.
Actually, it was also no fold. The 21 days 21 days fasting guy, the
Yeah.
Submariner
Oh
no
yeah.
date guy. Yeah, he reminded me like, by the way, Tim, don't keep Todd, for
Yeah.
3 hours. Don't
No.
do that to him. And
No.
I actually texted Todd and said, oh yeah, Todd. By the way, how long do you want to do this for? We could go for 3 hours, or we could do like an hour. And he said, Tim, I'll have an hour. I'll give you an hour.
Yeah.
And so he came back with an hour, but I was like, oh, you know what? How about this? If we're having really good time and there's no phone calls, like if he doesn't have like a business phone call, let's just go for an hour and a half maximum. Then I'm gonna let you go. And so I kept my
Perfect.
promise.
No, that was perfect. You can listen to the gentleman for hours,
Mm,
and he's got so much to share. And reading the chat, everybody just appreciate the quality guest that you had on, and no, it was amazing. Great job, Timmy, and your
thank you.
questions were really good. And yeah, I just wanted to say that. So
Just a second. We got a super chat here, Sean. Gatsby, $10. You really did a great job on this one. This was Tim Wright at his best. Cheers. Wow.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, 100%.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was
Thank
a
you.
very mature and really a quality interview, and
Mm,
which was deserving of the quality of the guest that you had. He's no joke.
yeah.
And I mean, you got a guy that, to me, Roger Smith is the tops
Hmm.
of all the living watchmakers.
Yeah.
Like I put in the
We need
chat.
to get you on the list, Sean.
Yeah.
Like somebody like you. I think Roger Smith would love to work with you because
Oh,
you see
you're too
how
kind.
I'm saying because you know your stuff. Oh, we also got Mike Lewis joining us. Hey, Mike.
Mikey,
Hello, hello.
how are you, Mikey?
Hey, Mike.
Good,
Nice
good.
car.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Whoa.
Nice,
Mercedes. Very cool. How
nice.
you doing? How did you enjoy the live stream?
It was great. I mean, you did an amazing, seriously, an amazing interview with
Yeah.
Todd. As you said, you let him do all this talking. He was very knowledgeable and informative, and gave us all
Yeah.
kinds of feedback. I think, it was one of your best interviews, to be honest with you.
No, it
Oh,
was. No, it was
oh
really,
yeah.
really,
Thank you.
really. It was, and at the end, you weren't doing your facial things. You kept it really.
I'm cool. Cool. I
You
wasn't.
kept it
I
real.
wasn't freaking out.
You were
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
didn't you didn't get extra stimulus from popping stuff, and
You
you
know.
were right on point. you,
You know. The
which was good, which was good. No, it was really good.
Pete Mitchell showed us too many like back to back watches. It was overstimulating.
Yeah, yeah,
I got.
exactly.
I
No,
got way
but you know
overstimulated.
what? I mean,
Well,
Peter is so much fun. Peter is the kind of a guy you can go have wine, or I want to say beer, but he's the kind of a guy that's a wine or
Oh yeah.
high level cognac or something in that, and you can have fun and joke around.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
Mr.
He's
Levin is
friendly.
more of a serious, but at the same time very fun and interesting guy to sit at the table and just listen to, and just, I mean, his knowledge, and when, first of all, the guy wears these watches. I love
Yeah,
it.
it's his
It's,
daily beater,
I mean,
right?
that a daily beater. I mean, when you nailed it, when you said daily beater, I loved it. You said it beautifully. And when he said he had his initials etched and asked for it to be on the back, I said, this guy's amazing. I love it because why would you want to put your initials for the? I mean, that's so. But the fact is that he wanted it, but he wanted to be hidden. and
Mm.
and 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 if I ever, let's say, if whoever it is down the road that gets a hold of this, as he stated, when he's long gone, and sends it in and says, "Hey, by the way, what's the deal with these initials?" And they tell him that this is how this gentleman ordered directly with Roger Smith, and and he requested to be in the back because of this, and somehow the guy gets a hold of your live stream video 40 years and realizes that watch is even more precious to that guy. I mean,
This is
what
the
a
only
great
place.
gift. What a great gift that he packaged and he hid
Mm.
behind the wall for the guy to discover when he acquired the when he acquired this. Just amazing. I love it. I loved
It,
it. That was great.
it's like a what do they call it? Like those capsule. It's like a
Yeah,
capsule, a
exactly.
time
Capsule.
capsule.
Yeah, yeah. Exit time capsule. Exactly.
Incredible
No,
stuff.
really great job.
Do not redeem says Tim did well. Let Todd talk, ask the right questions, and didn't segue into recut bezel and dodgy gray market dealers territory. You'll leave that for the part two. There we go.
Yeah. Now, and quite frankly, Timmy, when you do quality interviews like that,
Mhm.
and here I'm talking for myself, there's no reason for me to jump on, or it would be, it's great, it's just the two of you
Yeah.
guys, it's an
Right.
Right.
intimate discussion, it's
Hmm.
more controlled, and you have
Hmm.
very good questions to ask, and when you have people on the panel, let's face it, when you have a bunch of people on the panels, there are some good questions asked, but then there are some questions that may not be
Yeah.
the best.
Sean, yeah, that's a good point.
Sean,
It's a
Sean,
time
it remind,
constraint.
Sean, it reminds me a bit of like too many chefs spoil the
Exactly.
broth. So
Exactly.
it was good when it's one on one. And
Yeah.
I think Tim did a fantastic job today. I think he
Yeah.
was, as I said, he let Todd speak and he just gave him the question, and that's, he didn't interrupt him at all, and
Yeah.
it flowed very nicely.
Yeah, I
Proud of you,
prepared that.
kiddo. Proud
Oh,
of you,
thank you.
kiddo. Proud
It
of
was
you.
Well
supposed to
done.
be
Well done, Tim.
listenable so that people can, if they come across this live stream in the future, they'll be able to watch it and like
Right.
understand, actually
Exactly.
take away something out of this type of understanding. And
Ti-
man, Todd, he's got, this very very good perspective and the sense of reality.
Yeah. And Timmy, you know what? With the uh, with all the group of interviews that you put together in the past several weeks,
Mhm.
you're going to be able to do some amazing shorts,
Oh
and
yeah, yeah, that's a good
several
idea.
for each of them, and just put some amazing shorts, put it out
Yeah,
there, TikTok, and put it on Instagram, put it on YouTube, put it everywhere.
mhm.
I mean, it's really, really amazing, amazing quality stuff that
There's some
you can
gems
put
in
out
there.
there.
There's
Yeah,
gems. There's
100%,
truly
100%.
illuminating conversation, I
100%.
think.
And then let me ask you a question. When you go on your YouTube homepage, and you have the playlist, can you also group your, when you have these interviews, can you group
Oh
them so
yeah,
if somebody goes to the playlist, they can go to your one-on-one or your interviews with some key players
in the watch
in the
space.
watch space?
It's a good idea. It's a good
Yeah, you should
idea,
do that.
Sean. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there is a playlist. I just had it by country that we did live streams from, but that's a good. I'm gonna put that as number one, the most important category. the
Yeah.
interviews, and we're gonna keep building from here as well. Todd
Yeah.
Levin, Todd Levin is a actually a great friend of the show. He gave me some top level advice, and I remember first time I met Todd at Phillips. It was on the stream too, and
Really?
yeah, yeah,
What?
yeah, yeah.
Which stream? Which not? Which stream was it? Do you have the number?
Phillips, I think it's gonna be members only, but I can track it down.
Yeah.
I'll track it down for you, Sean, and I'll send it to you. Yeah, definitely. Members only, and you're a member, so you'll have access to it anyways. Thank you so much for being a movie star. That's why we've got
I
the
appreciate.
BMW,
That's
man.
that's
No,
the only that's the only way I would get the movie star somehow next to my name by becoming by paying for it. Hey, how many movie star members do you have? Because was it David H that became a movie star?
David H has been a movie star since the beginning.
Oh, who else? Who was it
Uh,
recently?
Recently, oh, it was Maldives. I don't know. I think
Maldives, Maldives. But he's above movie star. He's like on a different level. How many movie star members do you have?
I think probably 5,
Come
which
on,
is
man.
pretty
Let's get
good.
you into. We need to get you into well into double digits, especially with
Oh
this kind
man,
of
that would
content. With this kind of content you're providing.
what? Hey, if I get listen, Sean, I'm gonna be working so hard. But No Fold told me that 2026 is the Tim Wright year because of numerology. I'll be 30. I'll be 36. Three is my like number, and
Divisible.
six. What?
It's
But
three
three is my.
divides and three
Uh,
and three divided by six.
yeah,
Divisible.
and the six is like supposed to be my lucky number. Six is my lucky
Mhm.
number, and three is because I was born on February 3rd. They said 2026 is the year of Tim Wright. That's when we take over the wristwatch space.
Yeah.
Just
Do
we're
you know
just
what's funny,
having
Timmy?
great
It's funny
conversation.
you say that. It's funny you say that because three is my favorite number.
Yeah,
Oh,
three is my lucky
really?
number.
It
It's
is.
my
No
lucky number
kidding.
too. Three.
What? What? Why?
You know what? It's interesting because here I'm gonna tell you, it's kind of goofy, and but you know, when my dad passed away,
Uh,
it was just my mom, myself, and my brother that was 10 years younger than me.
oh, the three of you.
And you know, when I left Iran at age 14 and I went to the boarding school in New York, you know, you're very emotional. You miss mom, you miss your little brother, and all that stuff. And you know, it was just the three of us, right? It was just the three of us,
Yeah.
and so three was very important to me. And till I got married in my late 30s, you know, this was this small, you know, it was just the three of us, and
Yeah.
we went, you know, we went through, it was, you know,
You were
came in,
getting everything for
had a
three.
great life. But then when my mom came, my mom basically left, um, and then all the assets were frozen and all that stuff, and we went through some hardship, you know, going through. She my mom, you know, we had no money coming in, and
Yeah.
my mom for the first time had to go to work, and she was seamstress. She as a kid and as a young girl, she loved to sew her own dress, her sister's dress, and all that. So she became a seamstress, and did alterations. And then when I was going to school, I told you I used to work graveyard shift at a gas station, so that I could afford to be full time student. And you know, so it was. I'm so happy that we hit some hard times, and
Mm.
it wasn't always easy, because that gives you value, and that gives you spice and flavor to
Appreciation.
life,
Yeah, the
and
Appreciation.
appreciation.
and appreciation. And I know one thing: no matter how business goes bad and all that stuff, I'll go back to freaking wiping down
Know how to
tables
do
and
it.
filling up gas and doing whatever I need to do. And it's not beneath me. A lot of times
Yeah.
when people come from affluent background and they have an easy life, when things
Mhm.
get tough, they don't know how they're gonna do it, and or they see it beneath them. They're too good to do that. No,
Mm.
it's very
Mhm.
honorable. It's very honorable to go out there and get your hands dirty and clean and serve your human. There's nothing wrong with going and serving your fellow brothers and sisters, and earn a dime. It's honorable. And
Exactly.
I'm glad that I went through that period. So, anyways, going back to that, it was the three of us during the tough times, and and so the three was very important number in my life and my
Mm.
favorite number.
Mm. It's so cool. Yeah. Mike, you wanted to add?
No, no. Actually, three happens to all my life has been my lucky number. Whenever somebody asks, what number you want to pick, and I would always pick three,
Oh
and
yeah.
and I would and about I would say 20% of the time the three ended up winning me something or something like that.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. It's weird.
Yeah. You
Just
know,
weird. Huh?
that's funny. That's funny. Yeah. And that's why I got the Daytona, because I told these guys, listen, my 30th birthday was coming up and the Daytona had the 3 sub dials on it. I was like, this is going to be a perfect birthday watch.
No fold. What's no fold? I can't see it.
Oh,
I'm
No
saying
Fold wants to know when's your birthday?
it's
Gonna do a
August
calculation.
August 21. 2-1 is 3.
Oh, what? Look at that.
So, so you're a Virgo.
No,
Wow.
Leo.
August.
Leo.
Oh, you just
Leo.
okay, okay.
Even
Mm,
22nd is Leo. 23rd is Virgo.
Oh, okay, okay.
mm, mm.
Because I'm a Virgo. I'm coming up. Next week's my birthday.
I think 22nd is Leo too. I don't
What
know.
year?
Who?
Sean.
Sean?
Sean.
Yeah.
Last year was my birth year, right? So I turned 62 and I was born in 1962. So
Wow.
Oh, nice.
Oh, so hey,
Nice.
wait. I think. Oh no, it's gonna be the 26th. I'm 35, so it's gonna
so
take.
so you so what year were you born?
I was born in 1990. Oh, it would
Nine.
have to be 90. Ooh, I don't think I can live that long. Well, actually, with this new diet, I feel better than ever. If I don't do too many crazy gonzos, I think maybe I wish it would be fun to get to that age. Here we go. We got No Fold joining us. Yo,
What's
hey
No
good,
No Fold.
fault.
fellas?
Hello, hello.
Hey,
How
hey,
you
hey,
guys
hey.
doing?
Did you
Great. How you
hear
doing, No fault?
Good.
How
You
you
said
doing?
you
Todd
said you said
Todd Levin?
62, right?
Yes.
All right. So you're a one life path, my friend. You're the leader. You're the
Ooh.
athletic one. That's
Oh.
what you are. Listen, your birthday reduces to 28, and 28 is the number of wealth.
Oh.
Look. Go to Rolex.com.
Rolex.
Really?
Yeah, go
Okay.
to Rolex.com real quick. Who's the
Okay.
richest man in the world right now?
Bezos.
Elon.
Oh,
Elon Musk.
Elon.
Elon.
And
Elon.
he's
Born on the 28th, right?
Rolex.
Go to any watch, any picture. What's the date?
Anything. 28.
Oh
It's
wow.
always 28 because they
20.
Oh
know.
wow.
Well,
No way.
even if you go to a Rolex dealer and look at the carpet, they'll have a giant 28 in the carpet.
Whoa.
So Elon Musk is born the 28th, right? Who was the guy before him? The richest guy. He identifies as a doctor now.
Uh, uh, what was it? What's his
Bezos?
name?
No,
Amazon guy?
Nah,
Bezos.
nah.
Bezos.
Oh.
The guy before him. That he thinks he's a doctor now.
Bill Gates.
Born on the 28th. Do you know that 6 out of the top like 30 richest people in the world are born on the 28th?
That's
Oh.
Hmm.
wild.
That's a 0.002% chance.
Whoa. It makes
Also,
sense.
the
Uh-huh.
reason why the 28 is so significant is because there used to be 28 days and a
Uh-huh.
13-month cycle.
Okay.
So
Okay.
there used to be 13 months of 28 days with 1 day of rest. That's what the old calendar used to be. It's like there's
Mhm.
28 days in a moon cycle. That's why women have their menstrual cycle every moon
It's
cycle.
linked to that somehow biologically back
Biologically. Also, if you look at a turtle
because of the
shell,
evolution, the way the evolution happened, right? Because
correct.
that
If you look
moon
at
was always there.
a turtle shell has 13 squares in the middle, representing the 13 months, and then the 28 squares going around.
Crazy, man.
Isn't it
Yo,
wild though that you're
yo.
born on the 3rd? This guy's the 21st. I'm born on the 3rd as well. Who's the other guy?
Mike,
Oh, Mike.
me,
Mike, when were you born?
September 11, 64.
9/11.
64.
So just so you know, 11's a master number. 11 is charismatic, emotional energy.
Mm-hmm.
So let me just do 1964 real quick. You're a
Got a
4 life path, so
calculation.
you're a super hard worker, stubborn as shit. I don't even
Whoa.
know you, bro. I don't even know you. I know you're a super hard worker.
I
But
was,
also,
I was.
11 is
Not
very
anymore.
charismatic. Very charismatic. I mean, who just passed away? The real American hero, one of the most charismatic wrestlers ever.
Oh, you're
Oh,
talking about, what's his name? Hulk. The Hulkster.
Hulk?
Hulk Hogan, born on the
Yeah.
11th. Who's the biggest podcaster in the whole world?
Joe
Joe
Rogan.
Rogan.
Born on
Yep.
the 11th. 11s have a lot of charisma, but also very emotional. I'll give you an example. Your birthday's 9/11. Well, 9/11 happened on 9/11, where Flight 11 went into the towers that looked like an
Oh
11.
shit.
Each tower has 110 stories, 1111. New
Oh,
York
shit.
City, 11 letters.
Look at them.
Afghanistan, 11 letters. The Pentagon, 11 letters. World
Wow.
War One ended at 1111 at 11 o'clock. When you
Wow.
dial 911, you're dialing 11.
Okay, it's too
Huh.
much. It's too. It's this
Oh,
is
wow.
wild.
That's a lot of
Oh, wow, wow,
information,
wow,
man.
wow,
Yeah.
wow.
Wow.
I'm a
Wow.
numbers guy, man.
Mm.
Oh,
What about
wow.
Virgo? Anything about Virgo? Let's see what
Well,
he thinks of
Western
Virgo.
astrology is okay, but I think numerology supersedes astrology.
Huh.
Oh man. Are
I
you
like
saying
it.
there's almost like there's certain predictability to certain
Well, I
events?
don't know him,
Yeah.
but I know he's a 4 life path. That's his
Yeah.
life
Yeah. Yeah.
lesson. So this guy Mike, nice to meet you. I know that he's a
Nice to meet you.
super hard worker.
How was
He's
this
the
calculated?
builder.
How was
So
this calculated? No fault. Like, did people just like track other people and then connected the dots? Like, how's that? How was this discovered?
numerology. Okay, well,
Yeah.
basically as the earth is spinning, right? The star,
Mhm.
moon, and sky spins above our heads.
We got different configuration of the celestial bodies, right? So when we're born, right, because it's such a sensitive phase, uh,
Mhm.
we're actually influenced by the configuration of the stars, and these star patterns they repeat on the cycle because we're the way the solar system is configured. Gatsby, thank you so much for the $10
Damn,
super
bro.
chat. There are not 28 days in the lunar synodic cycle. There are 29.5 days if you start believing in numerology, astrology, fortune telling, flat earth, or any other whack job bullshit stuff. Oh,
I wasn't trying to be
okay, okay,
controversial.
we're
I'm
not
just
trying.
telling you what they went through back in the day.
uh,
But anyway,
funny stuff. Look, I think it was an interesting observation, if anything else, right? Can we just say that that was an interesting observation,
100%.
coincidence or not, right? I think it was interesting to know these connections because that's what watches are about, right? Like this, it's all about the connections. What is the connection between the George Daniels's original design on the Royal Oak compared to the modern Chopin Alpine Eagle? What's the lineage? Where, right? It's all this stuff. It's all about connections.
Mike, I mean, Timmy, if you don't mind, I'm going to drop off. No fault, Mike Lewis. Good chatting with you guys. I'm
Good
going to
seeing you,
keep
my
on
friend.
listening to you.
Yeah.
I told Timmy, I think I told Timmy, my technician, old British guy, old guy, finally is getting my Northern Commander done. He texted me a few days ago, said my bike should be done this week. So I'm at my one of the garages that I keep my motorcycles, and I hadn't been in here for about a year, so I started this morning. I'm getting everything organized, cleaned up, getting the bed ready for my beautiful Norton Commander coming home. So I'm gonna finish it off, and but I'm gonna listen to you guys. So,
Sean,
anyways,
before you go,
yeah,
Timmy, remember when Pete Mitchell was on the live stream
Okay.
about a
Yes.
couple of weeks ago? Remember he was wearing those. He was showing us those orange straps, the orange leather strap and the rubber orange. He was signifying an orange car was coming soon.
Yes.
Well, it has come in. It came this week.
Oh,
Guess what he
really?
got? Guess what he got?
Aston.
No, no, no. It's a 12 cylinder.
McLaren?
No, 12 cylinder cylindry Ferrari
No
in a burnt
kidding.
orange exterior. It's stunning. It's absolutely stunning.
Does he have it on his Instagram?
I'll pull
Yeah,
it up.
well, on his YouTube channel, he was
It's on
showing
the
it on
YouTube
there.
channel.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
he
Okay.
has it on the Instagram as well.
He probably. There we go. There we go. Look at that.
Very
Isn't that
good.
gorgeous? He just
Wow.
got
Oh,
it
wow.
this week.
Oh, wow, it is.
Ooh, with the hand
Very good.
painted Ferrari
Hand
logo,
painted
orange
shields.
brakes.
Yeah.
Whoa, full
Look at the
leather
interior.
interior.
Yeah. Yeah, he
Look at
just
those
got it.
curves. Ooh. Oh, he's got a jacket holder there on the back. Is that the key? The orange thing that goes into.
Yes, that's where the key sits. Yeah.
And
Ferrari
that
key.
looks. Oh, it looks like a. Oh,
It looks like
what a
there's a
beautiful
shield
like.
on the front.
Yeah, what a beautiful like object to hold. Right, it's
Mike
all.
and Tim. Hopefully he'll
We'll have him
join us
back on.
for. Mike, you gotta
Yes,
be.
I want to
Mike,
see that key in person.
Mike, yeah, exactly. Hey, Mike, you gonna be in LA when Timmy's here for that dinner, right?
I'm gonna do my best to be there. Yes, I'm gonna
Okay,
drive
cool.
up to you guys.
It would be good to see, because we're probably gonna go to one of Peter Mitchell's favorite spots that he said by water, by ocean. So maybe he can join
Definitely,
us and show us the new ride,
definitely. Oh,
and
I don't know
Timmy
if I'm
can
gonna.
see the
I
scene
want to
person.
see it. I want to sit in it. It looks incredible.
It
It
does,
does.
Look at that.
and he's
Look at
got
that
something else coming. Tim, he's got something else coming, dude. He's got something else on the works that's going to be arriving soon. He said.
thing. Really?
Is that going to be on? Is that going to be on 4 wheels, or it's going to be on his wrist?
I have no another car. He's got another car coming.
I love it.
Another car?
Yeah, he's out of
Oh
Hey.
control.
my
He's out of
God.
control.
We need
Well,
to
Damn, I'm gonna
introduce
hop
Pete
off.
Mitchell to Todd Levin.
All right,
I
no
just
phone,
want to
Mike.
I just want to say one thing to Gatsby. If you ever want to have a debate about anything, brother, I would be more than happy to do that, because you're saying it's stupidity, but I literally just gave you proof of why that number is so significant. It's literally all over every Rolex website and has been forever. And also, did I
Rolex
mention
believes in
flat
it.
Earth? Did I even mention flat Earth, or
Yeah.
are you
No,
just
no,
doing that?
it's
And
good.
hold on, wait, Tim, hold on. And if Gatsby even knew 1/10 of the mathematics of the globe, his brain would explode, which he doesn't know.
He's
So
just trolling you. He's just trolling
no,
you,
he
man.
literally just said in the chat,
Yeah,
like,
but he's
Don't
got.
take it too hard. Don't take it too hard,
Yeah,
man.
he's
I
just
didn't
got
even
a
mention flat
lot
Earth
of.
though. That's the funniest thing. I just think it's funny how you can talk about warlocks and goblins and all this fucking retarded shit, but as soon as someone mentions like numerology, which has been around since like thousands of years, you're
Hey,
stupid and you're talking about
I
flat
think
Earth.
Sean was surprised by the connection as much as I was.
No,
Right?
Believe me, bro. I know a
it's
lot
It's an
about people
interesting
just from
thing.
their birthday.
Look,
That's why a cop says, "Excuse me,
yeah.
what's your birthday?" When you go into a courtroom, what's your birthday? It's very, very significant, but it's all good.
Nah.
hey,
Thank you, brother. You guys have a good one. Yeah, yeah.
Where do you go to get the information that you just shared with us, as far as how the numbers correlate and what they mean? Where do you find that
As far as what, numerology?
numerology? Where do you?
Well,
Is
you
there?
can look up numerology, gematria. Like, here's an example of sports, right?
Mhm.
A couple years ago, the New York Jets. I won $10,000 because I bet $300 bet that I knew the exact score. Okay, so the first game of the NFL Monday Night Football was New York Jets versus the Buffalo Bills on 9/11. It was the 22nd anniversary of 9/11, and the Jets won by 22 points. I'm not going to go down all of the rabbit hole of that, but let's just say I knew what the score was going to be, and I used numerology and gematria to know that. So I know it works. Listen, if it
It's
doesn't work, go look
yeah.
up the royal family. Every single one of them are 11 life paths. All of them. Do you think that's by chance? I mean,
No,
that's just
there has to be like a no fault. So Sean, I'm not gonna show you. There might be actually a connection here because the way like if you think about it, right? How our planet works, right? So our planet it does this rotation right around the sun, and we've got the
do you
moon,
know how much?
and
How
so
fast
what
it goes?
happens? There's only so many structures that the planet can take around Earth. You know what I mean? So sorry, like Earth can take around the sun, right? There's only so many configurations, and those, and plus other celestial bodies. So there is, you know, these celestial bodies do have, or potentially could have, some kind of influence on when we are born, and that has influence on how we then later develop and which characteristics we develop. So I don't study this stuff. I
Listen,
think there's a
Tim, do you know
possibility. Yeah.
how far how fast they say the sun they're going around the sun?
And it's not because of the numbers. It's all because the numbers correlate to
No, I'm
the
just saying
position
if you
of
know the
Earth
numbers, or do
next
you
to the
know?
sun. Sean's got to go, by the way. I don't know if this is interesting for
No,
you.
no,
Oh,
no.
Oh,
I want to listen
oh,
to the last piece that
Yeah,
No
yeah.
Fault
Okay, good.
was gonna say.
Good.
listen, if you knew that the Earth, they tell us, is spinning around the sun 666,000 miles an hour, that's a funny number. The Earth is tilted at 23.4 degrees. Well, if you take a 90-degree angle and minus 23.4, well, that's 66.6. That's a funny number. Oh, the curvature of the Earth calculator is 0.666 squared the mile. That's a funny number. It just keeps going on and on and on and on and on. So if
There's a
you think
whole list of these
I'm just a
connections, right?
coincidence theorist, Sean.
Yeah, coincidence. Come on.
It's interesting stuff. Really interesting.
It is.
Thanks, No Fault.
All right,
It
you
was
guys have a good
interesting,
one.
man.
I don't
Dude,
want to ruin your stream, Timmy.
by the
no,
way,
no, no,
No,
it's
what are you
actually, no
talking
fault.
about, No Fault? What are you
No,
Yeah, yeah.
talking
no
about?
fault. No
It's
fault. I think
interesting stuff, man. Interesting
actually,
stuff.
I want to have this conversation, but
that's good
I
stuff.
want to have it one on one. Let's prepare. I'm gonna prepare some questions. I am actually intrigued by this. Right, like this is interesting. I
It
want to
is,
have
it is.
no fault. Sounds like somebody who knows a lot about this. Maybe we can do
Bro,
like
you have no
a show
idea, bro. I
someday.
can't even watch TV anymore because I'm decoding
You just see
everything.
too many connections, all the
No,
Yeah,
numbers,
hey,
right?
no
yeah.
Fault. I'm with you. I can't watch TV anymore because I watch too many of Tim Wright's
Too
streams.
much. It's
Well,
too
here's some
much.
wordplay,
Too good
Sean. That might
information.
this might blow your mind a little bit. Well, you're watching the news, right? Which is north, east, west, south, which steers your mind and keeps you in fear. Fear is false evidence appearing real, and keeps you and hits you with the headlines. I just think it's funny how when you're watching the television, right? It's the Black Mirror, right? I don't know. I just can't do it
Is
anymore,
it
man.
all
Everything's
coincidence or
I don't
it's
know.
all
What
predetermined? There's a possibility because there's only so many configurations get that these different shapes can take a form of, right?
listen, talk about shapes. You want to know how you know we're in the matrix, Tim? Ready for this?
What's that? There's
Explain
a matrix theory, by the way. It's
yeah, yeah, for
fascinating stuff
sure. Tell me in nature where there's a square or a box.
in nature.
Yeah, Sean, anyone? Mike?
No, I don't know.
Perfect square, perfect shape. I only know those hexagonal columns, of lava down in like Yosemite's Park near where Sean is.
Yeah, but it's
But
not
they're
in nature.
hexagonal.
Yeah, well,
Hexagonal, like the
kind of.
the bees hive, the
Yeah, but it's
hive.
not square. Yeah, but it's not square.
My whole
No, it's
point
not square.
is
Yeah, but what's the
everywhere where there's people,
yeah?
our rooms are square, our beds are square, our phones are square. We live in
Mhm,
boxes, our doors are boxes, our windows are boxes. So
mhm.
it's just basically, it's eye opening when you look at it in a different way. Gatsby, I love you, bro. Please hop on. Hop on. Hop on, Gatsby, please.
That's for
All
sure.
right, No Fault.
There
Hey,
are
it
animals
was
that sit in
interesting.
perfect
Timmy,
cubes.
take care.
Okay.
Mikey, I'll see you guys tomorrow probably. I'll keep
Yeah.
on
All right,
listening to you
Sean.
guys.
Yes.
Keep the talk going, man. All right,
Have
talk
a
to you.
good
Take care,
Bye bye.
night,
Sean.
Sean.
Take care,
See you.
Good
Sean.
night.
Look, no fault. Let's save this conversation
All right,
for
brother.
a special episode. I'm truly intrigued, and I think I don't want it to get lost in the middle of the Todd Levin
Yeah,
interview.
that guy was awesome, by the way. Good job.
Yeah,
Hey, no
thank you.
fault. I got
I
a question
appreciate
Yeah.
it.
for you. No
Yeah.
fault. Question for you. Do you believe in the creator or you believe in the Big Bang?
Oh,
I
here we
believe
go.
in a creator for sure.
There you go. Good. Good
But I don't.
answer.
But I'll be honest. I don't. I don't.
But by the way, but the creator might be the Big Bang.
No,
Whatever
Yeah,
it may
yeah,
be.
that might be the
it can't be.
creator. The
No,
Big
Listen,
no,
Bang is the creator.
no.
I'll give
Yeah.
you a great thing that I think we're always learning but never knowing.
Hmm.
True. That's true. Also,
And
yes.
and and you'll never know. Like we'll never really know until that time comes. I truly believe that.
Right.
Like Tyler the creator, these people are so funny in the chat, bro.
Tyler, the creator.
But I do think
Uh,
organized religion is the worst thing to ever happen to mankind, honestly. That's
absolutely.
my
I
opinion.
definitely
So
agree.
Oh,
Definitely
because
agree
that's all
there.
about power.
It's all about
all right,
control.
I'll
It's
hop off. I'm
control.
sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know. You're good.
No, no,
Thank you
no,
guys.
fold. You kind of listen. You set me off with that numerology stuff. That's why I got into it with Todd, because we
Listen,
were
it was
talking numbers.
predetermined that was going to be
Yeah.
said. What's the odds of that
Boom.
happening?
And today is the 6th.
Correct.
How does it? Is this a coincidence that we have this big interview on the 6th? I don't think so. I don't believe
Listen,
in
if you go to
coincidence.
Seiko.com, by the way, or Grand Seiko, everything has a 6 in it. Do you know why?
Why?
Pull it up. Do you think I'm fucking around? Pull it up. Pull up
Okay.
Seiko.
Okay. Seiko.
Yeah.
Seiko. What? Okay, hold on. Seiko website. What am I pulling up?
Anywhere, any Seiko website,
Okay.
USA, Seiko
Okay.
Lux.
Here we go. Here's the
What's
Seiko
the
website.
date say?
6.
Do you know why?
It's Japanese stuff. Why?
Because 6 is the number of home and family, right?
That's the number of home and family.
Well,
Really?
one is listen,
Oh.
1 is man, 2 is
Yeah.
female, 3 is child. 1 plus 2 plus 3 is 6. 6 is number of home and
6.
family. What's the
Yeah.
6th
Whoa.
letter of the alphabet? F. F is in family.
Wow.
Listen, I should
Yeah.
be charging. You guys should be I should be charging
Where's
you
the
for this
super
stuff.
chats, guys?
Yeah, where's the
Where
super chats? I'm
are
not giving this knowledge away. This is good stuff,
this is
Gatsby.
free knowledge? This is
But
free
it's funny
knowledge.
though. Seiko's always had a 6. Rolex has always had a 28. They know they use these
Oh,
things.
it's
It's not like they
psychological.
don't.
They don't want to appeal to the families anymore. They're not in the price point to appeal to the family. They're in the price point to appeal to the number 28. And what is that? That's the
28 is the number of
that
wealth.
number of wealth, baby. 28. Shout out to all the 28. The Elon Musks born on the 28 and the other 28s.
Listen,
By the
I
way,
don't want to be rude.
who was born
I
on the
actually want to
28? Let
tell
us know in the chat.
I want to tell Gatsby. I'm not even trying to be rude or argue with you, bro, but I will tell you that like he's saying family doesn't start with F in the Japanese. That's correct. But as a collective consciousness and
Collective consciousness.
and the English language is based off mathematics, and everywhere in the world, you go to China, India, France, what is the signs in? It's in their language and English. Because English is predominantly the collective consciousness that we all agree upon. So it is what it is, brother. If you don't want to, if I'm showing you that 6 is home and family, and it's
Oh,
6 on a Seiko on every single Seiko, I mean, I'm showing proof to what I'm saying. Like that's proof. This is what it is. So
or like these brands believe it because
absolutely,
they're doing
especially
it in
Seiko.
their marketing. Why would they put these numbers in? It's not a coincidence. Like,
No,
because look, it might be it might be that maybe Rolex actually believes in the 28, and that's what they put it.
of
Maybe at
course
least
they
it's some
do.
good luck, but it's working. Okay, let's go to Patek Philippe. Let's see what Patek Philippe does. Here we go.
I think it's a 5. I'm not sure.
Holy shit!
Oh, it
You
might
guys
be.
ready? Let's go collection. I
Someone
didn't
asked
know
about
this stuff.
Omega, but I didn't. I
Yeah,
haven't checked. To be honest with you, I don't know.
yeah. You guys ready? Let's see it. Let's see if this is bullshit. Here we go.
But they have.
20. Wait, 29? Wait. Let's see here. 18. Okay. 18. They put 18. What is 18?
Well, 18 were reduced to a 9. 9 is the number of the humanitarian. 9 is the number of like completion endings. It's actually not a good number for a watch
Remember,
company.
you don't you don't own the Patek Philippe. You just hold on to it till the next generation. What's the eight? So what is the 9 again? Maybe that helps explain why they chose 18. It's a strange. What are they trying to do here? 18. Look at that. Huh.
Jeez. I
Yeah.
don't know. Maybe it was
That's a
found. What year was it
curved
founded?
dog.
I never looked into it,
Yeah.
but
Okay. We're gonna have to look this up and let's see Vacheron. Let's see Vacheron Constantin. Here we go.
listen, whatever they do, they always use the same number for sure. They never change it.
Right. It's like these brands they're choosing 28.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
no
So it's
way.
28. Yeah.
Everything is set to 28. Oh, wait. The ladies one is set to 8. Oh, 8 is like a lucky number. And
Well, eight
28.
is the number of money, power, karma, and respect. I mean, look at
For
the
the
shape.
ladies, they put 8. For the men, they put 28. Why would they do that?
Good question.
Wow. I didn't know this. This is amazing. Oh no, actually they have 28 and 8. Okay. They use both. But actually on the big ones, they only use 28. But on the ladies, they use 28 and 8.
Yo, speaking of eight, the Chinese culture is really into eight, right?
Yes, they do.
Right,
Did
It,
you
right.
know?
are
Did
they
you guys
trying to
know?
appeal to the Asian culture? It's a
Yeah.
lucky number in there. So
Did
28 and 8, they're both lucky numbers.
the
They're trying to appeal
Chinese?
to Asian market.
Yeah. Well, the Chinese had their Olympics on 8/8/2008 at 8:08 p.m.
Oh my god. 808. It's all
on
8.
on
That's why they got
August 8,
8 and 28.
2008 at 8:08 p.m. Facts. You can Google check
Wow.
that, Gatsby.
Okay, let's check Breguet. Breguet. What did Breguet put? Uh, George Varghese says that numerology is prevalent in India across all religions: Hinduism, Buddhism, Judaism, Islam, and
True.
Christianity.
That's
That's
why you
true.
have the store 7-Eleven, because 7 and 11 is a match made in heaven. And it came from what? Well, who works there? The Indian people work there.
Oh no way! That you can't make this stuff up.
No, it definitely.
Okay, here we
I'm
go.
curious. Is Grand Seiko's got to be 6? It has to be.
Mason. Wow. Okay, here we go. Watches. Marine. 8. The same thing. They're trying to appeal. They got the 8. Oh no, 25. What the hell? 25 on the
Man,
Marine. Dad, look at this. Marine's got 25. Everywhere 25. What does 25 mean?
what is this company? I didn't see it. Sorry, I was reading the
Breguet,
chat.
a
Brigade.
French company.
Well, 2 and 5 is 7. 7 is the nature number, the God number.
Okay.
Like there's 7 continents, 7 colors of the rainbow, right?
Hmm.
7 days of the week. When was Jesus supposedly born? On the 25th. 2 and 5 is 7. Buddha was what? The 17th. 1 and I want 16th. 1 and 6 is 7.
Yeah.
Everything religion wise is a 7.
And it's like the God watch, the Breguet. It's the origin of all modern watchmaking, right? This is where everybody is like the most respected watchmaker on the planet. Maybe that's
They're,
why.
they're pretty
The
nice.
coincidence? Is that a coincidence, guys? Are we crazy? Uh we've got Mickey says on tomorrow's show, Tim Wright and friends will use Uja board to contact Hans Wilsdorf.
Can
Honestly,
I
Um,
talk? Hey, Tim, can I talk to Hans? If you do contact him, I want to make a complaint
what happened? Oh yeah, you.
about the Rolex AD.
Oh my god.
well, I mean, listen, it's not like I'm not saying anything that's actually not true. I mean, there's the 7 is very significant as well, like I was saying, but also that's the positive stuff of 7. If you look at the negative of 7, why do they have 7s in the casino everywhere, Tim?
You know what I find it fascinating is that all these brands, okay, all these brands, they use same number on all of their watches.
Of
Okay,
course they
and
do.
they're very deliberate, right? They believe in it, or the people there might believe in it. There's not a coincidence that Breguet is putting 8, right? Something they made this decision as a business because they're running a business and they could set to any number they want, but they chose number 8. Look at this.
Check out
Traditional
Omega.
one time, boom, it goes to the 8.
Tim,
This
check out Omega. They're a big brand, of course, too.
Omega. Okay, let's see Omega. And it seems like
I think it's 8.
Omega and these brands are, here we go, 8. There you go. They
Well,
chose number 8 and it's on every watch, right?
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
they were asked, whatever, the designers or the graphic people who create the graphics for this website asked, like, hey, by the way, what, where do we put? And you can see they also picked the time. The time is like 10, let's see here, 5, 6, 7, 10, 7, right? And the seconds hand is a certain position and the date is set to the same date. And they chose number 8
8.
deliberately. 8.
Yeah.
And they chose where the hands are going to be because they want to sell, like, what? They want to sell probably the most watches as possible. And maybe they found out that this is like the most pleasant way that it appeals to people. And the number 8 appeals to people who believe, either believe that this is a lucky number or it is a lucky number. And for many people, it is the lucky number. And it's a self-fulfilling type of destiny. And it's amazing to actually look at different brands and the numbers that they chose to put in their windows because they've done it deliberately. There's a reason why. Look at this. Vacheron also chose
the
8
reason is
and
because
28.
eight is the number of money, bro.
Yeah, it's the money. It's the money number. Whereas
It's
a brand
100% the
like
money number.
Breguet, they put in the God number, the 25. Oh, and Seiko put number 6. That's a strange number. Is that a coincidence? No, they're trying to appeal to families. A budget.
Correct.
This is a budget-friendly watch. That's not
You're
going to
seeing
break
it
the
in
bank.
real time. I love it,
Well,
Tim.
it's branding. It's straight up, like, right? Like, you have to know. If you know,
Why is
Seiko's the for
cars?
family guy. Yeah, you want a watch. You're a hardworking guy. It's also for kids. Great watch. It's for families. Big families. They're not gonna waste money. And then, hey, if you've got money to spend, you go with the big one. And that's why these guys, hey, this is a lucky watch. And Rolex is the money watch. And then if you got more money than God, then you go with a Patek Philippe with number 18 or Breguet. Breguet is the God number. If you got more money than whatever, it's amazing. I mean, look, it's all connected. Like, these brands obviously believe that this is somehow relevant because they're implementing it. I don't know. Is it?
So is AP. Someone just said AP
Oh,
is
it's
set to 8
AP.
as well.
Let's go AP. Audemars Piguet. Here we go.
8.
8. Boom. The lucky number. Let's see if the Royal Oak holds. Yes. Number 8 as well. Why isn't there 17 or 15? Like, if this wasn't true, we would see a lot more numbers, right? But the brands, they know. They know. And that's why they put the 8. Amazing stuff. Huh.
I'm glad you
Uh,
like it.
Yeah, there are certain times of the day that I do not conduct any personal business. Boom, there you go. Interesting. Maybe I can pick better hours to do this show, right? And if I want to grow whatever the show, or maybe there's improvements I can make. Maybe,
808.
yeah, exactly. Maybe I
Well,
should
the
do 80
Yankees do it
minutes,
now.
80
Baseball
minutes
does
show,
it.
or
NFL does
88
it.
minutes.
Oh, that's too funny.
Russell says brands keep the same numbers and time so you can compare watches against each other, no more, no less. Really? Well, yes, that's true. No, they keep the same number. I'm not arguing that. So, for example, here on this page, we got 3 watches. We've got the full bust down, then we got the gold one with the fume, and then the white gold jumbo with the blue dial. obviously they all have 8, the same number, right? And they put 8 on everyone probably because it's easier to do 8 than have to think about every watch that you put a picture of for a new number. But that 8 was a deliberate choice. They chose that on every watch we'll put 8. They could rando generate, I guess. You think what do you think about that? Like if each picture of each watch had a different number, that would be
No,
an interest.
never.
It was just a lot of trouble, don't you think so? To go through,
No, they
like,
would never do that. A company that big and knows what that number represents. There's no way.
mm-hmm. Mm.
I mean, a
Interesting.
simple Google search of what the number 8 represents in Google
Yeah.
will explain to you what it is. Oh my god, bro! So many haters. So many
Joker says
haters,
today's
bro.
show was so unbelievable. Timmy had to find a way to bring it down to his old. No, I think this is interesting. I even had conversation with Todd Levin regarding this stuff. Right? Todd Levin had the number 4 George Daniels, which he was told. He was told that the lady who was selling the watch contacted Todd, and she said, Todd, this George Daniels is a great opportunity to grab it because a lot of people on the market who are going to be buying watches, they're going to stay away from it because it's number 4. And number 4 is supposedly the unlucky number. It's the number of
It
death.
sounds like death.
Yeah. Sounds
In
like death.
Mandarin.
And Todd said, fuck yeah, I'm going to take it. I'll take this watch because this number stuff, obviously you can see it. He's living pretty well and looking great. It's not going to kill him. It's not going to be the watch that kills him, whatever, it's he found it that getting it because other people may believe in numerology, he'll be able to get one at a really good cost. And that's what pushed him to fight for the watch. And he bought it because, the value of it was brought down by the number.
Yeah.
How mind blowing is that? It's some people who would have spent millions of dollars because that's an extremely
Hey,
rare watch.
Tim, I'm jumping off.
Okay.
Gotta
Okay,
go
Mike.
back.
Hey, look, I really appreciate you jumping on. And
No
what do you
problem.
think about this? There's
It is interesting.
it's
No, it is
interesting stuff.
interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it played role in Todd Levin's getting a George Daniels.
Yeah. It is
Cool stuff.
interesting.
It's cool stuff. There's ways to leverage numbers, I think, right? In watches. That's why actually a lot of watchmakers, like for example, FP Journe, they're no longer going to be numbering their watches. Because the numbers, they carry certain power with them. People start wanting the number 8. How many people in the watch community get the number of a certain watch? By the way, you want to see something? Here, I'll show you something interesting.
What's that?
People are asking about numbers in the chat.
Check this out. This is interesting.
I would answer you guys, but I don't want to
obviously-
ruin his stream apparently. So
No, we're not ruining. Look, we're just talking about the connections. Okay, so check this out. This Seiko. Okay, this Seiko right here. Check this out. You see this Seiko?
Yeah.
It's numbered. If you look on the back, let me show you. It's numbered. Let's see. Can I zoom it in? There we go.
What's the
Okay, do you
number?
see that? It says 2003 right there. It's upside down. Hold on. You see that? 2003 out of 2,500.
Okay. Yeah, I see that now.
2003 is the year I came to United States.
and also 2 and 3 is
Interesting
5.
coincidence.
Listen to this. 2 and 3 is 5. 5 is the number of change and travel. Isn't it funny you traveled on 2003? That's facts, bro.
You can't make this
No,
stuff
I'm
up.
not. Five is the number of change in travel, bro.
Crazy.
Yeah,
2003, 5.
yeah.
Obviously.
So you've been here 22 years?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's a great time. I've been having fantastic time in
So,
United States. Great country, just really safe. Just really fun. You know, yesterday I have a funny story if you want to hear.
Yeah.
And
what's
maybe
that?
you guys
Go
can
ahead.
help me out because yesterday I was taking a walk and there was a Jewish guy who kind of stopped me in the street. He's like, "Hey, it's some kind of a holiday." So he was not allowed to turn on the air conditioner. So he was looking for people to help him turn on the air conditioner.
Well, it's just, oh, okay, okay.
What is it? It's like some kind of a holiday. But he was like, religious,
This
highly
was
religious.
yesterday?
Yesterday, yeah, yesterday at night.
So yeah, there's certain times of the like I thought it was on the Sabbath, like on the Saturday, they're not
Maybe it
allowed to
was
do
Sabbath.
any kind of work, which is even I think even even winding your wristwatch is considered work. So
Really? Wow.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a little bit
You're not
wild.
allowed to work. You have to take a break. You know
Yeah,
what?
you cannot. Yeah,
Yeah.
you cannot
You know
really.
what? That's
Yeah.
an interesting holiday. It's an interesting concept. I thought it was an interesting concept, Mike, because it's like fasting. I was doing fasting recently. That's when you go without food. Now, this thing is a day where you don't do any work. It's an interesting psychological concept
It's the
that kind
same
of
thing. It's the same thing with the conservative Jews. The ones that wear the yarmulke and
yes.
they actually have to walk to the synagogue. I don't believe they're allowed to drive. I'm
Mm.
not. I might be wrong there, but I don't think they're allowed to drive to the synagogue.
You have to be in the walking distance. Like that's what keeps the community close together. Right? That's why
Yeah,
they have
especially
such
I know definitely.
strong
I,
community.
definitely the Hasidic Jews. I mean, they're
Hmm.
very strict. They have very strict, very old traditions that
Yes.
they keep.
It's very
That
traditional.
very, very, very,
It's very
yeah, very
powerful
traditional.
too because it keeps strong bonds in in the community, right? They have to
Well,
live close together so they have a
right,
good circle of contact.
exactly. Well, as you know, in New York, I mean, all the Hasidic Jews run the diamond business, big time.
Yes, it's a great business. It's networking, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah, yeah,
they're all doing something, and
yeah.
a lot of the things, a lot of reasons why people struggle to find jobs in United States is because like the culture in a way deteriorated,
It's
and
very
people
tight.
don't
Yeah,
have a
they're very
social
tight,
network.
very secretive, very tight. They're very
Yeah.
secretive and very tight. Yeah.
But they have this culture that keeps this their heritage together, and it creates a, a, a a social network where people can talk to each other and kind of learn from each other, help each other. Right? If you in Brooklyn, we've got a lot of Jewish centers like
Hmm.
support network. We've got pools. I was working at a pool, it's like a Jewish community pool, funded partly by the community. Some like they invest the money into these social centers that everybody could use, and these are nonprofit companies,
Yeah.
and it's a community pool.
Yeah, we have one. I have one very close to me, actually. It's the Jewish Center.
Yeah.
It's right off of Scottsdale Road, actually, and because there's a very big Jewish population here in Scottsdale in the past 20 odd years. It's really grown
Mhm.
over the years. A lot of them from New York and from especially from the East Coast.
Yeah. So, anyways, I just thought it was an interesting concept of doing a day of no work. Kind of forces you doing a day of no work.
Well, that's what they call it, honoring the Sabbath day. You know, they honor
Yeah.
the Sabbath day. We're not supposed to work at all. And
Yeah.
actually, the Sabbath day is a Saturday where Christians actually took it as a Sunday. But actually, Sunday is the first day of the week in the Jewish calendar.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh. They have a traditional calendar, right? Not the
Well, they have
one
their
that a
own
lot of people go for.
they have their own calendar, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
because that's why Saturday is their Sabbath day. Because that's what it's supposed to be. On the seventh day, God supposedly rested in the
Yes, and
Bible,
then
in the Old
they take
Testament.
a day off, right? A day of
7 is
no
the
work.
number of reason.
Mhm.
Saturday?
Seven, yeah, seven on the
Wow.
Sabbath. Yeah.
Oh, it's like a day where you get to reset your brain so that on the working days, on the 5 days that you do work, if you do the reset, when you do no work, you clear your mind, you get to think about no work, you can't work, you're not allowed to, fucker. Okay? And so no, but it is interesting kind of a concept that I'm trying to like understand what effect it might have on the person, right?
Tim,
Yo.
the sevens go in cycles. So when you're 7 years old, it's considered the age of reason, right?
Hmm.
Yeah,
7 years later, what happens? Well, you hit puberty. Well, what happens
14
7 years after that? You become 21, you become legal.
legal. Yeah, yeah, but
It's
that's legal in the
cycle.
United States.
Hmm.
It's not everywhere because in other, like in England, it's 18. You're legal.
21 to be an adult. I'm sorry.
Okay. Well,
Yo,
18.
Vargas says that
Yeah, yeah.
his mother would make dinner occasionally for their Orthodox Jewish neighbors on a Saturday. It's
Hmm.
incredible. It's a great way to create an interaction and and kind of force people to meet people. Gadsby says Sunday was the first day of the week in Julian calendar as
Right,
well.
right.
Constantine moved seventh day to Sunday to coincide with pagan religion in ancient Rome. Not a mystery. Now, but why did they do that? Right? And what effect changing the calendar? Because I don't know, I might be totally wrong, and this is just bullshit internet propaganda. But concept kind of makes sense because I've been thinking about this, right? Like the way the there's only so many configurations that the Earth could have in relationship to the sun and to the moon, right? So these things have certain effect on us. It's it might be very subtle, or it might be not as subtle as we think, because we think we're so rational and that we're totally in control of our destiny. We think we're in the uh driving seat, right? Everybody wants to believe that, but maybe things are a little bit more predetermined because they are. I mean, we could see it, that when the plant grows, it has certain, like the Fibonacci sequence, right? There's certain patterns that repeat themselves because of the way things constrain themselves, right? The bees, they make those hexagonal uh, shaped structures because that's the strongest shape uh, of like matter. And then we try to connect that to wristwatches, right? Look at this. Is it a coincidence that the Aquanaut has a 12-sided bezel? Wait, so one, two, three. Let's say, oh, eight. Eight!
Eight. It's
Oh,
eight.
it's eight!
Yeah.
Again! Again! There's a reason. There's a reason why Aquanaut became such a successful watch. It's got 8 screws on the bezel and 8 corners. Holy shit. I think, Mike, okay, you had to go. Sorry
No problem.
about keeping you later. We're seeing you tomorrow, right? You'll
Yeah,
be.
yeah. I'll be on tomorrow, and we can chit chat then also.
Okay, yeah. How you been doing? Before you go, give us some final remarks. What's
I'm good.
going
I'm good,
on with?
thanks. I'm good, thanks. It's starting to cool down a little finally
Yeah,
in the wonderful state of Arizona. So we're starting to see some high 90s now, which is cooler than it was.
yeah, yeah. I know in New York as well. It's like cooled down. It was scorching earth during
Uh-huh.
the summer, and
Yeah.
now it's cooled down. Freaking raining earlier today. In the
Yeah.
middle of the day, it was like a nice warm day, and then it just came down.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, hopefully now it's just little by little it's just going to start cooling down and the
Yeah.
great weather starts coming in. The reason why I live here.
The Arizona, you moved there on purpose, right?
Part of the reason, and for business, of course, too. I mean,
What part?
Scottsdale.
Yeah, I lived in Phoenix for 17 years.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Which, wow.
North
So,
Phoenix.
how old were you when you left Phoenix?
I think when I left. I left last year, last June.
Oh, you just left. Oh,
Wow.
okay.
Yeah.
How did you like it?
Arizona's beautiful, man.
It
I
is.
had
It
to
is
come
beautiful.
back because my mother was really sick,
Mhm.
and she she passed away in May, and
Oh man,
I got a year
Sorry
with
to hear
her,
that.
and you
sorry to
know,
hear that, buddy.
yeah, I mean, one of the hardest things anyone can go through, especially the way she went. You know, it was just all sorts of wrong. But I left Arizona to be closer to her. You know,
So you planning to come back?
probably not because I landed a really good job here, and like honestly, bro, Long Island is just like should be its own state at this point.
It's great
Yeah.
stuff over there, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's grown. It's grown considerably. I mean, I've been here now
Yeah.
about 30 years, and it's just incredible the growth.
Well,
Uh,
30,000 people a month moved to Arizona.
it's amazing. It's amazing.
At one
Yeah,
point, they were.
yeah, it's
I,
amazing.
Phoenix
I mean,
is like
Scottsdale is
incredible.
unbelievable. Let's be honest.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful part of the state, definitely. Even up north. I mean, there's parts that you would love. I'm sure you probably went up to Prescott and Flagstaff,
Yeah,
and
of course. Yeah, it's
and
like
and, and
being in
they
New
are.
York when you go up
Yeah,
to Prescott.
yeah, it's really nice up there because the
You know,
temperatures are cooler and it's a lot
Arizona
more
is
greener.
actually the coldest and the hottest state.
Yeah, yeah, it is weird.
Really coldest and hottest.
Flagstaff,
Yeah,
yeah, it gets really cold in the winters.
I mean,
Real,
Grand Canyon is like negative 40 degrees in the winter.
you know, Flagstaff was like my. uh, It's sometimes for fun. I think about like if I had a ridiculous amount of money, I could travel to any state and like get like a little house or something, right? In America. I, I came across Flagstaff and I thought that was like the most beautiful town to get like a little house. And
It's like Colorado, Flagstaff.
yeah, yeah, it's so
Pine
beautiful
trees,
down there.
yeah,
Bro, the
pine
average
trees.
home in
Yeah.
Flagstaff in 2008 when I moved there, you could buy a house for like 100 grand. Now you can't
Yeah,
even touch a house for $1 million.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy. How do I grift my way to a house? It's hard.
I don't know, but I might have to give you money. No one's super chatting since I talked. I feel bad.
Oh man, it's okay. It's all about having good time. Zillow. I think it was informative, just long term. It's all good. Yeah, and Sean sent some crazy super chats there, dude. We didn't do that bad as you thought we were. We got look, Sean, $20 again. Gatsby, $20, and then Gatsby did $20 more as well. So, and he was like the hater.
Gatsby's triggered though. He's triggered hard.
No, I think he thinks he can trigger you. So you just got to be
No,
careful.
I
You guys,
just the more I see people like act like that, the more I realize they don't have a soul or they're just NPCs at this point. I don't know.
no. What you have to do is don't get don't get bogged down by that, dude. You
no,
can't
it's just
let.
They just don't believe. You know,
He doesn't believe it.
it's what you believe.
You're not
Yeah,
gonna
it doesn't mean
convince him
you're
by
anti-soul.
attacking him back. That's
No,
just
no,
gonna make him
I don't care what he believes, but everything I said was facts. I mean, there is no debating that. I mean, you want to be in the chat talking crap the whole time, hop on, have a
you know,
discussion. Listen,
he's
I'll
not
tell you
ready
why
to
this worked for
understand
me.
it. No fault.
Huh?
He's just not ready to understand it because
No, he's
he's
plugged
in a different.
in. He's plugged in. He don't want to be unplugged.
Unplug yourself, Gatsby.
He's plugged
Check
in, man.
out these houses here in. Is this Flagstaff? Yeah. Look at this
Yeah,
Flagstaff.
they got some really nice homes up there. Even
Yeah,
Prescott's very nice too.
1.5. Look at this.
There's some
500.
$500,000 house. Oh, it's like a trailer.
It's
Let's
a
see it. Is this
trailer.
too
You can't
rough?
touch a house for half.
Wow, that's
It's all the damn
Bro, I
New
bought a
Yorkers and
condo.
Californians.
good. What the
Um,
fuck? That's a
They push.
$500,000.
Lewis,
You have to be plugged in to buy
you
this.
got to be plugged in for sure. Mike, I bought a condo on 19th and Glendale, which you know is super ghetto, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I bought it for $12,000 cash.
Holy
Fixed
shit!
it up, sold it before the light rail came for $160,000.
Awesome.
So like there could be money. There's money to be made still in the Phoenix area. And I agree with whoever wrote that in the chat. They lived in Tucson. It is definitely nicer than Phoenix. I don't know. Phoenix is very spotty. You know what I mean?
There's parts of Phoenix that's nice too, but I agree. I mean, you've got Chandler. I mean, Mesa is okay. Chandler is pretty nice. What else? Ahwatukee is okay. So there's the outskirts of Phoenix are very nice. I mean, Scottsdale, as you know, is really a really nice place.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
You gotta have money though.
Yeah, especially now, of course. I mean, back when I came out here about 30 years, it was a lot more. You know, unfortunately, I didn't buy that much, hardly any properties, which I made a big mistake because I was focused on my business so much. So I made a big mistake. But it's incredible. I mean, the real estate, how much it has many times over.
In '08 when the crash happened, when I moved out there, I mean, you could buy a mansion in Scottsdale for like $250,000.
Well, I bought a house in 2009 in Prescott. That's why I moved in Prescott and bought a business again because I took a 5-year break.
You probably tripled your money on that house.
No, didn't triple it. I about doubled it, which is still
Okay.
pretty good.
It's still good. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Very impressive.
Yeah.
There's good time to buy, and look at this, for example. Look at this property. That's $1.8 million, but it is a very substantial.
The land is expensive.
Yeah, look at that. It's got tons of land. An interesting segment. Look at this shape that the land is. Oh, it's like a triangle. Try living in a triangle. Look. Oh, it's got some interior here with beautiful, like almost
kind of southwestern look.
Oh yeah, cowboy. Look at the painting there on the wall of Grand Canyons. Very American, I would say.
Yeah, southwest.
Wow. Look at the ceiling, the height of that ceiling, and you've got
we like high
fireplace.
ceilings here. We like high ceilings in Arizona.
Yeah, it's circulation. You need the high ceiling for the air to circulate and naturally cool the house without running air conditioning.
Yeah, well, there you don't need air conditioning in Flag, but you definitely need it down in the valley, like in where I live.
This is a dream house right here. But
that's Flagstaff, right?
Yeah. Look at the kitchen. It's a little
old
bit
school.
Old school. But you know what? I could live with this. I don't care. That would be great.
Kind of homey,
it's got
very
walk-in
homey.
pantry. Look at that walk-in pantry with. There's a refrigerator. Let's see, here's an office. Some kind of is that an office? Whoa! Look,
that's a big office. That's huge.
Holy shit! You could have clients over because, right? Like, what would you have clients over here for? This is a home office. Huge. Yeah. Or is this for like an office with 2 people? What is this? Explain. I don't. Oh, sorry. I don't know. Mike, like, what would you do with an office like this?
It's too big. I mean, it's just too big for an office. Yeah, that's too big.
But it's got like some kind of a. Okay. What would you do?
My office is probably about a third of that. What you just saw.
George Vargas, Tim, are you confirmed from watch time at South Coast Plaza? Yes, we are. And we've got a big group. Mike Lewis is coming down. So let me see here. I need to write down the names of everybody who's going to join us for South Coast Plaza dinner. I'm taking a list, making a list of people who are interested, and this list is getting long. We've got like 10 or 12 people. Mike, it's going to be a big get together.
So there's going to be about 12 people so far?
Yeah, I think so. We might have more.
Wow.
We're going to try to keep it under control. So George, please reach out to someone in the circle. You can email me. I'll have some directions. Actually, Sean, maybe it's best to contact Sean because he's going to be making the reservation, and we need to know how many people are going to attend. So if you have Sean's contact number, if not, we can arrange it, or you can contact him on Instagram. Look at this. There's like a what the heck kind of
Is that a
room is
second office?
this?
That's like another office.
Yeah, it's like, but there's
Upstairs
with the
office.
table. It's almost like a tutoring office. Like you can
It's
have
upstairs
a board
office.
game table. Yeah, some kind of a media room, right?
Maybe it's a his and hers. The guy's is downstairs, and this is the wife's office. Who knows?
Oh,
Maybe
yeah.
they work from their home, both of them.
Look at the book collection there. So this was somebody's decor, right? They decorated it like this, or you think this was decorated for the sale of the house?
It's custom. It's probably custom built.
Custom built. And would you keep this like this, or if you buy a house, or do you redecorate it? Like if you like the shape.
Well, if you're planning to live there for a long time, you would probably repaint some of the interior and do a little, change it around a little bit. But if you're just gonna plan to keep it for a little while, let's just leave it as it is. Why invest more money into it? Some people like that style.
Yeah. Some people, it's Todd. He lives actually in a really interesting house. Check this out. Let me show you. You'll get a kick out of this, Mike. Before I'll let you guys go. Actually,
yeah.
maybe just stick around for 10 minutes.
Okay.
Let's talk about this. I think you're gonna love this stuff because man, this guy lives in what's his name?
Frank Lloyd Wright.
Frank Lloyd Wright. Yeah, Frank Lloyd Wright house. Look at this house, right? The shape, it's like a very particular design. And get this, it's hexagonal, okay? It doesn't have the square shape. Every angle in the house is of hexagon. And think about what we were talking about with no fault. No fault. So, there's no natural. We all live in boxes because there's no square shape in nature or whatever, something like that. And Frank Lloyd Wright built a hexagonal house. You see, even the table here that Todd is sitting on is hexagonal, and there's it's all custom like hardware, and it's all hexagonal too.
This is the one in Arizona?
No, it's the one here.
No.
Oh, I went to the one in Arizona. That house is unbelievable.
Yeah.
What did they do in the Arizona?
Yeah, he built a house out there. It's off Frank Lloyd Wright. They named a street after him in
Frank
Scottsdale.
Lloyd Wright Boulevard.
Yeah.
Wow.
They have Taliesin. I don't know did you ever go to Taliesin?
I think that's the one. It's the one where the sunlight goes through the roof. Yeah.
Taliesin. Yeah.
Unbelievable, that house.
It's in Scottsdale.
In Scottsdale? Hold on a second. Let's pull it up.
Unbelievable, that house.
So just quickly, I'll just play the some pictures from this house, and then we'll take a look at the Scottsdale house, okay? And then we'll end the stream. Yeah, it's all connected. Look at this. So this is
That's right.
this is where he lives.
Frank
but
Lloyd
I
Wright
guess.
lived in Arizona for a long period of his life. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he died here. He died in Phoenix.
Oh, look at this one. This is like all you see. That's the hexagonal one. There's the hexagonal. Look at even the like the the chairs. It's got the hexagonal shapes in it. I wonder. Oh, and he's got the Eames chair. You know the what's it called? Uh, so such a cool chair. Herman Miller Eames chair. I don't know if you guys heard about it, but check this out. The kitchen. It's all wooden art clocks. I want and then incredible piece of work here with hexagonal like tiles outside. Even the lawn furniture is hexagonal. Wild stuff, and it's near like a pond. Jeez. Oh, it's a pool, but it's really unconventional with the kind of a thing. Okay, let's take a look at the one in. You said Scottsdale,
Yeah, it's called
Yeah.
Taliesin West.
Taliesin,
Taliesin West, I believe, the last part.
West.
Wow, I can't believe that guy lives in that house. It's pretty wild.
Right? Yeah.
Must be nice.
He's an art dealer and the like art connoisseur. He knows the art really well, so he advises like individuals and like top level businesses on what art to invest in because he knows like the most significant pieces. You know how he was talking about the George Daniels and what makes it so special because the way these guys are pushing the boundaries of um the the craftsmanship there. Is this the one? The Taliesin West?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, let's see.
House is
Oh,
unbelievable.
it's got some special stuff too, right? What's
Oh, yes, unique. It's unique. It's very has a
Everything
very
about it has natural lighting. So like
yeah.
it's built perfectly. So throughout the day, it's lit up by the sun all day, the whole day.
wow.
That's the only thing I really took away from it. Besides that, I was just like, this is a sick house, you know?
Let me see here. I think we got a little video. Let's play a little video here on YouTube, and then we're gonna start wrapping it up. Look at this. Oh, we got the man himself on the wall. It's only 2 minute video that you can see.
Very
It's like a
cool.
custom. It's all custom made.
Yeah,
Wow,
there it
in
is.
Arizona, it's like
High desert with the
yeah,
hummingbirds.
desert hummingbirds. The property is so flat. It's not like a tall multi-story thing.
Hey,
Wow.
Tim,
Yeah.
I'm reading right now, said, it is difficult to imagine Scottsdale in the late 1930s when the population was barely 2,700.
Wow.
Now we've got, like, I think, well over 300,000.
It's such a beautiful state because
It is.
just
It
great
is.
weather and just there's so much that
Well, the
could be
summers
done there
gets
now.
brutal. There's no doubt about it. I mean, the summer is hot as hell.
Hey, but you know what? Some people like that. The
Yeah, but there
people
are
used
certain.
to live in hot climates all the time. We have to start adapting again, and it's fun. Don't you get like enjoyment after a while? Look
Well,
at this
the thing is
theater.
about it, Tim. It's consistently hot. I mean, it
Hmm.
doesn't. You don't get breaks when the summer gets going. Like in late May to about the beginning of September is just pretty brutal
Uh-huh.
generally.
Oh, nice.
Especially when it hits 118, 118, 119. That's effed up.
Can't
That's
go
really
outside.
you can't. It's just too hot. It's way too hot.
Just for a couple of minutes, and then drink a lot of water.
You have
Dude,
to drink.
Yeah.
I love the heat, bro. I loved it.
Yeah,
No,
heat
I
is
like
fun
it. I
sometimes.
like it, but not that much.
Yeah, sometimes it's fun. Sometimes you're like, oof. I like the season. It's good to like change it up. See,
You
no
see that
fault.
room, bro? Go back to that room.
This one,
No,
this
yeah,
one.
right there. There's no lights in there.
Wow.
Yeah, it's amazing. Look at all the lights.
There's no electricity
Wow.
lights there. It's all done by the sun.
And it's such a perfect lighting.
It's
And,
amazing.
and look at the space itself, the parties you can have here. You can invite all your buddies over, hold some kind of a reception. You got a piano. Somebody can start playing a piano for everybody. What a cool home to kind of live in. I wonder who owns this thing now. But this is the kind of stuff that Todd helps sell and helps buy. You know, people like celebrities will come to him. They'll say, "Hey, you know, I want one of the best houses uh, available." You know, and he'll be the consultant. He'll say, "Okay, well, if you're looking for, you know," and he'll tell you what can you get for your budget, and he can put you on a house like this if if your budget allows, and if this is something that fits your needs. You know what I mean? I'm not this level yet. Not that I, whatever. Not really pursuing, but hey, it's a great house. Somebody has to own this house, right? You gotta.
They charge you $50 to $100 to go in that house.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's like a
Yeah.
museum.
Yeah, you can't go.
Oh,
You can't.
I should go Gonzo stream it. It's an art. It's like the house is an art installation, huh? It's too
Yeah.
expensive for anybody to like just generally live in there. Imagine
Nah.
living in this house. Like, how would you even? Not very practical, right? But look at the facade. Oh my God, those rocks and the shapes, the wood, right? All the windows covered up with the stairs and everything.
Imagine
Took a
having this
genius to design
first
this.
time. I mean, incredible for its
Yeah.
time, no doubt about it. The creativity and imagination he had.
Yeah, no cost. This is the George Daniels of houses, right? Think about it, like a
Yeah.
wristwatch.
Right.
If you had to build a most, one of the most extravagant, art like houses that are beyond, just hey, this is where you put your stuff. Just a box that you're living in, right? That's like what an apartment is. This is beyond that. It's more than just, Anyways, we're getting way too deep on this stream tonight. It was a great time.
Yeah.
Mike.
So I'll see you tomorrow. I'll probably be on tomorrow, and we can talk more.
Fantastic.
And we'll watch.
Fuck you, Gatsby. Fuck you.
What did he say now?
Doesn't believe you. He doesn't believe it. Look, no fault. You just gotta keep going.
Damn, I love you, Gatsby. Go fuck yourself.
But like Gatsby is a character. But look, you'll get through to him. I see it. These brands believe it. There is something to what No Fault is saying. Otherwise, how do you explain all these connections? Rolex put 28 for a reason. So we don't have hey, you shouldn't let these things guide your life, right? You can't even, let's say you pull up your number and you don't have. I think you yourself,
Sorry.
you can override these things, right? A person can have their own free will at the end of the day. No matter what your number is, there's a possibility, right? No Fault. What do you think? Can you override the numbers that were given to you?
Absolutely not, bro.
You can't. Oh,
Nah.
I don't know. This is an interesting concept.
Listen, I'll tell you what. People lie, numbers don't.
There we go. Hell of a show. No Fault.
Great interview.
Great chatting with you. I want to go deep into the subject. Teach me. Teach
right,
me.
no
I wanna get out of the matrix. Help me unplug. Okay.
Good night, guys.
Good night.
Everybody. See you tomorrow for cocktails and watch.
Bye.
A little bit of land dweller video for them, and then we're out of here. Guys, if you want to support the show, you can send money via PayPal. I'm going to put the link to PayPal in the chat. I'd really appreciate some financial support. I'll get more great guests and more great watch content for everybody to enjoy. Link, PayPal, and Venmo in the chat if you want to support. Send $28. Or 88, whatever floats your boat. See you guys tomorrow.